Really? Was our first spark of the year a Dr. Pepper?
Zero. Dr. Pepper Zero.
Yeah.
That's not the part I was worried about.
The fact that none of us are drunk.
The lack of alcohol, yeah. Well, I'm dangerously close to this fridge.
It's very dangerously close, actually. Hugh, that's why we got that padlock on.
Jägermeister in there. You lied to me.
I don't think there's anything in it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just like to collect the empty bottles.
Like a smell.
20p.
That's good stuff.
Sound like an ex-addict.
Exactly.
I don't know why we were laughing about that. Hello and welcome to the Patches In podcast. My name is Dom. I'm here with Hugh.
Hi everyone.
And here with Hamish.
Hi everyone, hope you had a good Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, look at that. It's 2023 now. Right now at this moment, Hugh. It's 2023.
It is.
Well, we'll see when we get this released.
It'll be 2024.
So we did only release 11 last year.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's no one's fault except Dom's, but like.
Yeah, it's mostly my fault.
Yeah. And Hamish's.
And yours.
None of mine.
Yeah, no, Hugh was doing all the streaming. Hugh was doing all the editing of the podcasts.
Yep.
Actually, I think I edited the last like 5 podcasts.
You actually did. Like, but yeah, it's. You know, I think it's more because like everyone's been doing new things, especially Hugh.
Dom left us, guys. Don't let him fucking sugarcoat this. Dom moved more than 2 miles away from us.
Yeah, and we're lazy, so that's like basically they might as well not live in the country anymore.
I know.
It's not me.
He's dead to us now.
No, it's just like, you know, I'm just phoning this in right now.
I think that was the issue. We didn't like recording online anymore because it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, and there was issues. There was a lot of issues I can remember with like Audacity,
sound quality,
drunkenness.
Well,
It doesn't sound like an issue. That sounds like a
good time.
yeah.
I mean,
a positive impact
I've
on
also
the.
think about the latency between, like, you know, when you're trying to have a conversation, no one can really butt in properly without it sounding like underwater. And
Oh, is this because I'm drunk again?
No.
I'm going back to points that you made 5 minutes ago. Like, oh wait, that's not right.
he was taking notes.
Taking that long to process in my wee drunken brain.
But I think like this year will be a lot easier. I think. Well, I hope it's a lot easier.
Just jinxed it now, Dom.
Just ruined it.
Yep.
Fuck.
Nah,
We're gonna have to postpone.
We're gonna
try again next year.
I'm going to use the word robust. We're going to be more robust. It's not going to be as precious this year. We're not going to have to just like, because you might actually get a lot of podcasts where it's just me and Dom, Hamish and me, or it might just be drunk Hamish by himself releasing something at 3 AM without actually running it by anybody. That could happen too.
It happens sometime.
I mean, see, to be fair, that's as much as a surprise for me as it is for you guys. We got the next day, and I'm like, oh, we got more downloads. What's that all about? Like, oh, there's a new episode.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Well, Hamish was actually going to transfer out of the podcast. He's had it big time these days. He's
that's one of the other reasons. It's like he's like just so popular.
He's big time TikTok influencer.
Yeah, I mean, 1.6 million. That's all right, mate.
Yeah. What does it have to do with games to the podcast? Just say nothing. Just say almost nothing.
Almost. Well, everything and nothing at the same time.
Exactly. What's that got to do with it, Hugh?
You're right, Hamish. You're right. Actually, I just want to kind of move on for this. So I'll just agree with you.
No, that was something that was strange, like from last year, to have TikTok just blow up like that.
On the most,
cool.
it was honestly the most stupid video because there's been some ones that I've put up like gaming clips or something like that, and I've thought these are actually, I think these are quite good. So like, and then when I go to bed at night, whatever, if I've posted in the morning, I'll check them. This one that got like 1.6 million views, I was like, this is so stupid. The draft that I just made in like 2 minutes, it's a horrible joke and everything. So I didn't even think of it, and then I think it was you, Dom, that sent the picture of like the views in it, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Why is this the one that goes viral?
Yeah, which basically just highlights the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just firing shit out and seeing what sticks. You know what I mean?
Swinging wild. That's what you want to do.
Did we make any money from that?
I don't think we did.
Hamish is
I
like,
think, see,
we
even-
didn't make fuck all, guys.
Cha-ching.
and my new chinchilla coat over here. Don't know what you're talking about. No, I think I've even seen like people that make like 10 million views on videos. They get like pocket change. I don't think you get much
Yeah,
from
TikTok doesn't pay a lot, does it?
No.
I think that's been the cost for like the live part and when you're selling. There's that one guy, it seems like he's always on it selling laptops and
Yeah.
aircon stuff, and he just sits in a mobility scooter, and I'm like, I don't get this. And he's like, buy this laptop, it's got an i3 in it, and you're like, okay, That's all it is. And it's only £300, and you went, no, you can get an free chip. No, buy it now. And I'm like, this guy's yelling at me. I don't feel comfortable. And I swipe away.
See, I've never seen that, because obviously TikTok's very targeted. So unless it's like some thought, then I've not seen it.
She's butts, men's butts mostly. But that's it. That's all you see in it. I'm trying to think of something else that you like.
You couldn't really think.
I know. I was like, oh god, it's the first time I've actually made a joke in like so long.
Usually, you have more time. You could be like, and that's buffering. Cool. I guess
I'll edit this out.
I'll just pretend that I've frozen. Like, Hugh, we can still see you blinking, mate.
That's pretty much the highest point of the podcast this year. Well, no, we got a lot of downloads on one of our podcasts this year. A couple of thousand, I think it was.
Yeah, that was another anomaly. Like, again, just an episode, just a random episode. Got like a couple thousand overnight.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah. And then we released another episode, and those people clearly didn't come back for good reason.
We scared them off.
Yeah.
We did well. But yeah, it was a very like off and on kind of podcasting year. I'd say like we'll get better. Like, if we can do 52 episodes, I think we'd be alright. I think 52 is that's an episode a week. I think we could possibly do.
We're going to do different ones as well.
Yeah,
so we were going to do a Chainsaw Man episode because fucking love that shit.
But we are calling it Chainsaw Hammer. I'm not on it.
Right, okay. Exactly. We're going to do more like stuff we're interested in and just see if anybody else likes it. Like. If you're not, fuck you.
That's a better. I mean, please don't say that. No, but I think you're right. Like having something that's a bit more personal than it is just to be like, this is what games came out. So it'd be a wee bit easier to digest and talk about rather than, did you see this, boys? And I guess we did. Anyway, next bit.
I don't feel like sometimes when we were doing it online, it didn't feel like we were actually talking about things we liked. It was just like, I liked that thing, it was okay, and then there was no real like.
No, that's been the whole podcast the whole time.
I've actually given it some real good commentary about things, Hamish.
This podcast?
Yeah, the real. Oh no, sorry, that's my other one.
You getting mixed up with your wee side hustle podcast, mate.
The Hugh Jogan podcast.
Hugh Jogan.
Did you see Joe Rogan and Rick and Morty?
Joe Rogan was in
Rick and Morty.
He wasn't. His podcast was.
Oh right, yeah.
There was an episode where dinosaurs came back as like the advanced beings, and then like something bad happened, and then they were like on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's like, "Oh, did you not know about the meteor? No, we just found out." And he's like, "Do you know what's for real? Rear naked choke. Let me show you." That's pretty. Rick and Morty season 6 was good. I actually just watched it last week. Yeah. Very good. I know we're not on the media part. I'm just telling you about my life.
Oh, that explains why I've lost interest already.
Oh. Did you have a good Christmas though, Hugh, and a New Year?
Very quiet, mate. Very quiet. Very, very subdued Christmas. I'm getting ready to like really blow up in 2023. Yeah. Not like a
you mean swole up?
Not like a suicide bomb or anything like that. Just mostly
getting
like
bigger.
a fucking. I'm getting swole, mate. Just gonna start eating stuff and like. You ever seen
exactly
Charlie the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like that lassie with the blueberry.
Can we call you Hubity?
Hubity.
No, like I don't think Christmas and New Year ever lives up to the build up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe yours don't.
I literally saw you in New Year. I think everyone puts so much onto it, spends so much money, they get tricked by these fucking like TV adverts and stuff like that. This is what Christmas is meant to look like and meant to feel like, and you're like, why does mine not look like that? Like Homer and his barbecue.
Yeah.
I think it's all about like like how you're right when it comes to commercialism part of it, where it's like spend all this money because like when we were wee, it was like Pokemon and Buzz Lightyear and Beanie Babies.
Furbies, remember that Furby fucking trend?
Yeah, everybody need to get the must-have toy, and like I think me and Angie were talking about like what is the must-have toy this year for everybody? Apart, it's not a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or that, or even like the Quests.
I think it's mental illness.
Everyone
mental illness.
Everyone had that before. Everyone had that before Christmas, mate.
But no, like there's not like a. It's more that I think there's so much.
There's so much now, right? Like we're sold, right? But there is so much. But I think there's so much, but it's all the same. A lot of the time, everybody wants like a device that can watch YouTube, a phone, tablet, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's not like, what the fuck is a Furby? Like what the fuck was a Furby?
It's a wee toy.
Aye, but
you put your finger in its
what?
mouth and it goes.
And blink at you and stuff.
Mate, my brother bought his daughter a bike, and I was just like, oh, I used to get a bike every fucking like 2 or 3 years when I was a kid, and then like
You never used them, clearly.
nah, I did. That's the reason I'm the way I am now. I don't use them now,
Yeah.
but like I kind of remember like the whole Christmas time. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get like a bike. I'm gonna get like 2 games. I'm gonna get selection boxes for days. Just right now, kids are just like, hey, I want that £700 iPad.
Yeah.
You're like,
Get a job then, bitch.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because it's advertised that way for them as well. Or
Yeah.
it'll be V-Bucks and like
Roblox
like,
thing
Roblox
shit.
currency and stuff.
God, this isn't just the old man moaning podcast now, innit?
No, again, it's like, it's because the dynamic has changed. It's like, it's not about weird things to get now. You're right, it's quite similar like what people want to play. Because again, like Angie's wee nephew was like, he got a Switch.
Yeah.
And he had so many games to play on Christmas, and he just kept swapping between them.
Oh
and
man.
it's like, so you're like, I can understand you're just overwhelmed with everything that's there. So he had like Mario Kart, the new Pokemon, Minecraft, Sonic Frontiers. I mean, that's 4 games just there, and he had like, I think another 2 after that as well.
And all the free stuff you get off the eShop,
Yeah.
and then
Fortnite, you have like, so he's got all these like at his disposal that he can play at any time. So to sit down, like, imagine like, when you remember when you were 7 or 8, and like if you had 1 game to play and 1 console to play on.
mate, I remember beating games 7, 8, 9, 10 times, just mostly because I was like, I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
like,
That was just the game that you had.
So to have that, it's quite overwhelming for any individual. Imagine you at that age and you had all the access to everything like that. You'd be like, fuck, I don't know where to start. Let me just play a little bit of everything and then be like, I don't know what else to play now. Like Pokemon, you got to put a good couple of hours into.
Oh,
Sonic kind of looks like the same as well with the open world part. So the only one I could think of without getting overwhelmed would be Mario Kart.
we've spoke a lot about when we got the first Pokemon games, but like I remember that being the only thing I wanted to do for weeks.
Yeah.
Like I remember opening that Game Boy, opening Pokemon Red. Mum's like, "Do you want to get in this?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I have what I want. I'll see you next year."
I'll see you when I beat the Elite Four.
And you were always looking for times to play it. Like I remember even going on school trips, and it was like, oh, so we're going to be on a bus for how long? That's plenty of Pokemon time. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember my dad sent me and my brother boxing when we were younger, you know, because toughen us up or whatever. Worked tough as shit now.
because all the toughest guys say that.
Obviously,
Tough.
I'm very, very secure in my toughness, right?
Even pizza box.
I remember coming home from school, right? You'd have your like routine when you come back, and like then you
Yeah,
get
a
your
couple of
dinner and
beers.
fucking.
Wait, hold on. I think we had a different childhood.
Take that first, draw that cigarette in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'd like get to the dinner table after dinner, and I'd just sit and play Pokemon until my mum was like, "Right, you have to go now to whatever you're doing." And I'm like, "Oh no, I just want to play another like 10 minutes."
Yeah.
And like, those are the good old days, mate.
Yeah.
That was his only responsibility. Let's go back to those days.
So instead of your mum, it'll be Sinead telling you like, right, Hugh, we've got things to do. Like, no, I'm playing Pokemon.
10 more minutes.
She kind of does that.
I was going to say, yeah, that doesn't actually sound all that different, you know. But Christmas is the main thing is the people that you're with, you know.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't see you at Christmas. It was
I
great.
was thinking that, it's quite peaceful.
Did you get anything good? Like, did you get any good Christmas gaming related? Maybe.
I didn't really like. See, the thing is, when you get to a certain age, you buy yourself all that kind of stuff. So, and people that would be in a position to buy these kind of things, they don't know what you have. So, like, I couldn't tell you the last time anyone bought me a gift that was a game or anything like that.
Yeah, same.
Chances are, I just see it if I want it, I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Like,
Last year, I can remember Angie bought me a gaming mouse for my PC because like my gaming mouse that I had was like a spray painted World of Warcraft mouse.
Oh right.
It was pure disgusting. She's like, "That's I'll get you a new mouse." It's the last thing I could think someone else buying me. But I did get some nice stuff. Like I say, I got like a new bag of you can probably notice it. It's just lying there.
Oh, the one I've got my feet on.
Yeah, the one that you trash.
Yeah.
See, if Angie heard that, she'd be fucking rear naked choking you.
Oh, no, I was kidding on Angie. I've not actually got my feet on it. I'm
Anymore.
sitting on it.
Sitting on it. But that's like, you know, again, you're right. You would buy most likely things like that you would want, but you know, it is about the people you're with. I think in Christmas, New Year is always like I think a hit and miss sometimes, and I think we were just with me and Hamish were talking earlier. It's like the older you get, it can be a bit more like I don't know. The New Year might not be the going out like we used to kind of thing.
Yeah.
It has kind of.
which I think is partly getting older, but also partly because you've had plenty of New Years and they never live up to the hype.
Yeah.
So you're not expecting it. You get a bit older and you're like, okay, it's just another night. you know.
Yeah.
I asked a few people in work, what are you doing for New Year's? And they're like, nothing, just staying in. Like, and, you know, it was really just, I was using it as an excuse to see people, just another night out, you know.
Yeah, same.
Didn't matter if it was New Year's or...
I think it's expectations you put on it. See when you're like 20 and you've never really, like, say 20, but like you've only had a couple of really big New Years where you're out with your pals. It's a big deal. See when you're in your 30s now, because we're like, I'm going to be 35, you're going to be 34 soon, Dom's like at 45. like
That's accurate.
we've had a good few now that we're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
we've
that's good.
completed the New Year's set. We've done everything we want to do on New Year's, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of want to be abroad next time, maybe.
You want to be a girl next year?
Abroad. I honestly want to go to Japan for New Year to see that shit, but like that'll probably be expensive as well.
Yeah.
Christmas, I never got any. I got some clothes, and Sinead got me a ticket for a gig. Like, it's not the same anymore. Like, you're not like, oh, I'll make a list up. You know, this is my fucking time for the year.
Yeah.
I used to write down like things from like October, like when I was a kid. Like, right, mum, I want you to memorise this list. Like, and I put the prices beside it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like, it says, if you don't buy it, I've got your card number, I've got that memorised. Damn Hugh.
FIFA every year, man. FIFA every year. The Dragon Ball Z game, whatever one came out that year, and then a random. Sometimes it was a crack. Sometimes it was like Final Fantasy. Sometimes Metal Gear Solid. Other times it was like, don't know, like Finding Nemo or some shit. Like,
whoa.
you know, some license game that they recognise because it was a movie. And
Yeah,
then,
but
like you're like,
those games are never made very well. Yeah.
oh, I don't want fucking Knight Rider.
You listening to this, Dom? This ungrateful wee bitch. Like, thanks for buying me 3 games, mum, but I only like 2 of them.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, mum.
Yeah,
Love.
what used to be good is the Star Wars games at the time were fucking good.
Yeah.
The Republic
Aye, they had
Commando,
a good run.
Battlefield, Battlefront, not Battlefield, Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron was a belter.
I think it's because, like, can you remember, like, what was the big game at the end of this year for Christmas that everyone wanted to play? There was no big multiplayer because COD's had already been out.
COD, for me, it was Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. Fucking hell, man, there was so many words in that name. In
I know, the Crisis. I would just went Crisis Core Reunion probably. But,
yeah,
yeah, like, but not
High on Life. I played as well at the end of the year. And
that wasn't released though.
Yeah.
Like, so you wouldn't go into a shop and pick that up.
What was meant
People
to be
played
the
it
big
on-
game? Ragnarok.
I'd say, yeah, God of War Ragnarok or Call of Duty is
Oh,
going to be the big ones that if people got gifts.
Pokemon kind of as well.
Pokemon
but,
kind of. Do you know what? I don't think we understand it anymore because Pokemon was the biggest selling game ever. This one, I think, like it sold like 13 million in like 2 days or something.
which is insane.
It outsold Ragnarok like instantly.
Yeah.
And,
Which
like,
is- but it's insane. Like, people had that and the game is broken as shit, but yeah, people still go out and buy it. It's wild.
it's kind of you don't really see unless you're a kid and you're in that like that environment all the time. You don't get what is massive.
Well, that's the thing.
That
Like,
culture.
adverts and stuff like that, they are targeted to kids, so that the kids go to their parents and say, "Oh, I need this."
Yeah,
You know,
but then-
we don't really even having a podcast that often talks about gaming and stuff like that. We don't follow the same hype in that way.
Yeah, we don't even pay. Like, you know, like we pay to get rid of adverts.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we don't
Yeah,
get advertised.
I don't want to see any adverts whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
like-
you're kind of taking yourself completely out of that circle and paying for that privilege to do
Yeah.
that.
That's a
Well,
good
you're
point.
right, we don't
Yeah.
really think about that. Like, you know, my nephew, he was just obsessed about getting a PlayStation 5. That's all he kept talking about. Was saving money up to get one, and he got one this year. But he's just still playing his PS4 games and stuff like that. He's the only game he's got on the PS5's been FIFA, and it's like
A lot-
you need a big upgrade to do that. But I think it was because he seen myself and he seen my other brother with it. He was like, "That's what the cool people play, so we have to have that."
Yeah, I think a lot of people like with sorry, cut you off. A lot of like consoles like that. It's the getting the console that's the end goal. So they don't even
Yeah.
think about after it. Like, do I actually need this? Like, because even Hugh, you bought the Series X and the PS5 when they came out.
And I didn't really even need to.
Yeah, it was more to do
because-
with like because they're limited,
Yeah.
and and I was the same as well. Yeah, very limited. Yeah.
Did you say I'm limited? Fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
But they only
man.
killed the King of Next Gen though for a week. Remember?
Man, I was the king of next gen. That was it.
Because you were the only one in the world that got both of them. You know.
Yeah. Well, prove I wasn't.
Don't know, Mario. Would you?
Prove that you were.
No, you were the one that
Where
said.
do you think the rest of them went?
Get proven negative, Hamish. But like, Sorry, I got lost there. I was in the middle
You're
of
too
something.
busy looking at your phone.
Yeah,
some things never change.
There's,
Yeah,
there's something I needed to do.
this fucking podcast.
Fucking
You're ahead in the game.
What, do you need me all the time?
Yeah.
Do you need me to, like,
Why do you think I send you those 3 a.m. texts? Mate?
I need you. Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, you up?
Talking about this year though, like, what games did you use, like, what really made? Well, I say this year, fuck, it's 2023. What games made 2022 for you? What's stuck in your head?
The only kind of ones, and I'm hoping this isn't just because they're recent, but would be like honourable mention to High on Life. I did enjoy that. I did feel though that the combat wasn't that great.
Yeah,
it wasn't meant to be. It was basically just a device for the dialogue and the comedy, and at some points I felt it was just too much. Like even if an NPC's talking to you and you walk away and they get angry, like, you know, like, all right, fine, I'll just stop talking then, or whatever they'll say, and you feel like that's you know, is it Justin Roiland? What is it?
Yeah. Justin.
You think that's just him? Like, I'm funny, you should listen to me. You know, because sometimes I found it a wee bit annoying. It's like
there's so many voice actors in this that I recognise. Like the guy from I like you to watch Smiling Friends.
Yeah.
No.
I know I've watched Smiling Friends.
Like those guys are in it, because I like automatically I heard that voice and I was like, oh, I know these guys. Then there was a lot of Adult Swim voice actors in it, and it was pretty good. High on Life was good. 7, solid 7. A nice little 8 hours I spent with it.
Yeah, I think it was perfect for a Game Pass game, because I don't see myself paying money
it
for it.
was super fucking easy.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I died a couple of times. It was just me being like lazy with it. Like, I mean, like a couple of the bosses had cool wee transformations, and I was just like, "All right, how do I get away from that then? Do I jetpack out of here or whatever?" The dialogue was dumb as shit, but funny. Kept me interested. Like, I was playing Crisis Core, and like I'd blasted like 10 hours of that, and I was like, "Oh shit, I want to actually like have this for a little longer." So I started playing High on Life and beat that in like 10 hours, and I was like, those are two very different games, right?
The dialogue is like so stilted in Crisis Core.
I said it's from 2005, something like that.
But
yeah, people didn't know how to use words then, Hugh, you know?
No.
But
we still
the
don't
quality...
need to use words right now. My words, they evade me.
The quality of...
You got evade. That's well done.
Like, two games that are so ridiculous. So, like, High on Life knows it's really ridiculous. Like, Final Fantasy's like, we're not ridiculous.
Take us seriously.
Take us extremely seriously. I have one wing and can fly. And you're like, mate, that is aerodynamically impossible.
Surely you just be on the circle.
Yeah, just flying in circles, yeah.
Like, that's Sephiroth, how are you holding that sword? That sword is at least 14 feet long. like, how are you using that?
It's so thin as well.
I know, it's just weird. But I think it was two good games to finish the year. But the game I think that we started the year off playing was Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that was like... Not forgot it was a thing, but I forgot it was last year. Like,
I think we played it up until the summer.
Yeah.
Or just after the summer, and I think it started off really well. Gameplay's really good, the loop's good, and we were like, "Yay, this is good." Where's all the new shit though?
They just didn't add enough in quick enough.
They had a couple of things and they were terrible, but then you read all about what's happening there, and you're like, "Oh right, I get it."
Yeah,
they fucked it. Then,
but even like Call of Duty, for example, that was out for like a month, and they'd already added more than Halo had added in
and
like
even then,
months.
by the way, that's got the same issues. I think.
Yeah,
it's got repetitive maps.
Well, these games always do. It's unavoidable.
But I honestly think that like the older games were much quicker at a turnaround of like, oh, here's 4 new maps. Here's 4 new maps. I don't know what it is now. I think they feel like they've got to have like big giant events for these things. Like, oh, we've got to have an event where you get new guns and you need someone. We've got to find a way for them to get to pay 20 quid for this.
Yeah.
Instead of
just doing it well.
Yeah, it's the whole fucking capitalistic thing in it.
I think it is trying to build like it's unnecessary hype for something that doesn't need to have that much hype. Again, to go back to like what I was saying, like I think maybe 2-3 podcasts ago, so like this was like months ago,
middle of summer,
when I've been playing Fortnite kind of on and off. Like they had their big event that was the world getting destroyed and stuff, and it's like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, that means it's a new season that's coming. Cool. And I was like, okay, let's see what the event's like. Started playing it, and I'm like, this is really shit. And then everyone on the chat, you can hear like kids squeaking, going, ah! You're like, wow, this is like mute everyone right now. But it took them about an hour, and you were standing around just doing like tasks. There was nothing really happening, and it all to reveal that a new map's coming in a couple of days, and Mr. Beast is here. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's
okay, and you're like,
right.
But then that's their way of building up hype, and then but you go into the chats and you see people going, "Wow, this gets worse every year." It says like they build this up like it's going to be something absolutely amazing, and it's some jack off YouTuber.
I think this is where we missed that kind of like we're too old for that shit now. So like, if we were like 17 and fucking some celebrity was on Call of Duty, I don't think I would care. But a lot of these kids tend to watch like YouTubers religiously. Mm-hmm. I've never watched like Mr. Beast or anything like that.
No.
Mostly because I think he's a fucking pain in the arse. Like,
he's just
you got all that money, mate? What are you doing with it? Okay.
Don't give away loads of money though.
Aye, that's what he does.
I know that's another conversation we can have.
That's a whole thing. It's like, well, why do people keep giving you money to give away? What's that about Mr. Beast? Like, sponsor our podcast.
It's all philanthropy thing. This isn't a political podcast. I could make it one if you want, but like,
you always do though.
Philanthropy's fucking.
We just always cut those bits out, boring bits. But
good point, Hugh.
You shouldn't have all that money in the first place to be philanthropic with it.
See, the thing is though, like when they build up these events and they it's almost as if they feel that's the only way that they can get people interested. Mm-hmm. But if they just drop it with like social media and things like that these days, everyone's going to know about it soon. Think about like, you know, Eminem dropping an album without any hype. Yeah. And it's not like people just don't ever listen to it. It's word gets around very fast these days.
But it's not all. They don't want to make some of the money, Hamish. They want to make all of the money. I know. But that's I think that's the problem with like the Halos and the Call of Duties and that. They're so big now that if they fail once, it can be it.
Yeah.
But
do they fail once and they feel like that's it, or it could be it?
That's the whole thing with these companies, though. They don't want minor hits, and they don't want.
Because even like shareholders and the people in charge will see, even if they perform incredibly. It's not quite our expectations, so we're shutting you down, you know.
You remember Square Enix said that about Tomb Raider and DMC and stuff? Oh, they never sold like 5 million. Is like, have they ever sold 5 million?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be realistic with your fucking targets.
I mean, which is the same in any company that has like KPIs and stuff like that. You know, a KPI is supposed to be an indication of right, where are you?
Yeah.
But they raise them up, so it's like right, but you need to reach these now. You need to reach these now. It's like we've never ever got anywhere close to that. Why do you think so?
If you're looking at this at like an average and like you're looking at the actual scale of it, why are you setting up like this? Is because you see this is where the most money is going for it. So okay, we'll advertise that certain part of it. So, but you neglect to feel, you know, what actually made those games or what franchise, what fan base likes them. And all you're focusing is on the one that makes the most money. And therefore, that's why, sometimes when they fail like that.
It's a tangent, right? But like Square Enix or Squaresoft in the 90s and Square Enix in the 2000s, right? So like, so Square made Final Fantasies, right? So when they got all that, forever, mate. So when they got all the Final Fantasy money, they made a load of different games, like fucking Racing. Like the Mana series and Chocobo Racing and Vagrant Story. Like they just did loads of like here's a load of cool creators, here's a load of money, make some games.
Yeah.
And then I think
like when an actor does like a big box office one to finance all their independent movies they want to do, you know.
Yeah, but when Sakaguchi, the guy that made Final Fantasy, he took a load of money and made Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within the movie, and it bombed. They brought in a new CEO and said like, right, we need to sort this out, and he was like, right, cool. So no more of these nice wee projects. We're going to make Final Fantasy 10-2 now, and they're like, wait a minute, a sequel to a game that's meant to be like standalone. That's what we're doing now. That made money, so we're going to make more of them. And you're like, fair enough. But it gets to a point now when how many Final Fantasy 7s have we got in
too many.
Well, no, I'm not more too much, but like I'd quite like a Vagrant Story now and again. Another Chrono Trigger would be nice, or something to that effect. Give those creators some money to do something other than something that someone else already wrote.
Yeah, the big cash cow that
That's why the golden age of gaming was between like 95 and 2005 or something like that they talk about. But I still think that like when Halo and Call of Duty really smashed everything in 2007, there was that 5 or 6 years where everything was just Halo and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
We got into these wee cycles.
Gears of War.
Aye.
Yeah.
Gears of War lost that really quick, I think, though. See, after the third one came out, everyone was just like, that's cool, we're done with Gears now.
Yeah, I dropped off after Gears 3.
There was an oversaturation. Yeah, they should have just taken more time and
give it time to breathe. But then there's only so many times you can run up against a small wall and shoot over the top of it.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a real fun wee thing. But do you think you should play a lot of new games in 2023, or you just going to go back and play older games? Because I know, I'm just going to say, I'm probably going to play a lot older games. I missed.
I'll probably play some newer games and stuff because like one of my games I really liked this year was Shifu. Elden Ring was really great. Again, like that's one of the first Souls-like game that you didn't want to like tear your fucking eyeballs out when you were playing it. Like, I can't believe I just got like that was so minky. That guy just hit me when I was trying. Oh no, I'm not having that. But Shifu was fun.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I played that on PC and I played it on Switch for a bit, and I was like, okay, this is pretty great.
That's a game I've got on a list of games. Like, if you see it, buy it, because like it's interesting and it has a mechanic that people don't fucking usually put in things.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying. What was it, like £60 or £50 for it? Akina's another one that I'm waiting to get to like 10-15 quid and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But like new games, like
do you mean like games coming out this year?
Games coming out in 2023. Like I'm going to get Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, cause
I'm quite looking forward to a Harry Potter game, which I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
Same here. It's like a bit like I remember a lot of people talking about that, saying like, "Oh, it's going to be amazing." But I'm like,
it looks cool. Like, and like,
I think it looks good.
I think Harry Potter universe has a bit of a potential if someone else writes it, because like I think as good as J.K. Rowling was for a bit, she wasn't actually that. She didn't branch out an awful lot. See, for a world that had so many opportunities, it was very narrow.
Yeah,
in its scope. So
it's similar to the Star Wars debate. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole expanded universe to play with, but everyone just wants to stick with like the Empire and the Rebels and
the same old stuff.
Yeah.
As Star Wars Jedi Survivor's coming out this year. That's a game that's a game I'm thinking about adding onto the list, but also
I'd play that.
I want to see how it does first. I want to see what EA has done to this game first. You know what I mean? Like, they always have that.
Hey man, they have one lightsaber now. You have two lightsabers. Remember, two lightsabers.
That's pretty cool though. People like the cool thing about the first Fallen
Order.
Fallen Order. It was a good bit of like customization with your lightsabers, like different styles, and you could have the double-ended and the fucking different colours, and like there's not a lot you can do, but like they gave you enough.
They do give you that choice. Yeah.
Right, the thing that shocked me is that, like, they left it alone to be a single player cool Star Wars game, and they didn't fuck it with stuff.
Yeah.
Now, that was, do you know what it reminded me of? The Shadows of Mordor. That came out and it was cool, and you're like, whoa, this is different and I like this. And then the second one, and Warner Bros. Fucked it. Like,
so that's what you're worried is going to happen with this one?
And it's just EA, innit? Like, I mean, I don't want to keep beating the Titanfall horse, but like, they take good franchises and they find ways to fuck them. And kind of worried about it, especially a Star Wars franchise. Like, how many of them get good sequels?
Not a lot.
Exactly.
Not a lot at all. Jedi Academy? Jedi Academy 2?
The Battlefield games, Battlefront games. Fuck's sake, everything.
That's when LucasArts was still a big part of it.
Yeah, I think LucasArts took as a company again, not the original. They've just got like another. They're going to be a holding company and actually license it out to different.
So you got your
companies now. It's not just EA.
Because they're redoing Knights of the Old Republic as well. Like, you know, they've been on sale for a while, and I've not played those games in a while. But they did come onto like eShop and Game Pass and stuff. Well, not Game Pass, on Xbox Store. You're like, yeah, like, they need to make more games like that. But I can see why it's quite hesitant about like having a new game from a company that's not known to be doing sequels well, or doing sequels.
They aren't good
without destroying the original.
They aren't good stewards. They aren't good. Like Dead Space. Dead Space was right. Yeah. So they're remaking the first one because they fucked the franchise back in the day by making the developer add loads of fucking bullshit to it.
And then high expectations that this needs to sell 12 million to break even, and you're like, fucking when has it ever sold more than 6?
Right, I'm going to run through some games and you'll tell me if you're going to play them and stuff, right?
You're not a host, Hugh.
I know, but like I'm just
taking over.
I'm helping. Forspoken. And you just got to play that. I played the demo and it was Final Fantasy 15 again, so yes.
I played the demo for 2 seconds. It was the first time I turned my PlayStation on in months, and I'm like, no.
I'm going to make the same joke I made last time. I've not played the first 3.
Right. So Hogwarts Legacy, that is one that I'm interested in as well. Hamish said you're not dumb.
Yeah. I don't want to go to school again.
The new Zelda supposedly is going to be this year. Who fuck knows?
The thing is that I get interested in the Zelda games and then I get them and then I don't really play them.
Yeah, you play enough and then you're just like, especially these big open world ones. You're like, is there anything else I'm going to see?
Yeah.
Like,
so it's not something I would pick up immediately.
I will be picking up day one.
Yeah, you quite like that.
Breath of the Wild. And it's nice to see like a sequel. Yeah, it's taken a wee bit longer than I was hoping for, because it came out when the Switch was first out, which was 2016. So
2017,
2016, 2017,
something like that.
2016.
So, fucking this new one's gonna make the Switch like just like run like the fucking PlayStation 4. Remember?
This is why I'm hoping. This is why I'm hoping it's like the rumors and stuff like a newer console's going to come out at the same time. Would make sense if it is, but I don't know. Nintendo are pretty bad at updating their stuff.
Yeah, they cancelled the Switch Pro or whatever they were going to call it because they were just like the Switch just keeps selling. Why would we fuck it up?
It's like because you should want to again
just a hardware refresh. You don't even need to change much. Just go here's a better chip and some more memory.
How about we can get games to run Pokemon can run at a proper frame rate if you put it onto this console? Nah, we're not going to do that.
Did they not do that with the OLED Switch?
No, they didn't add into it. They just had a better screen.
That's what I mean. Like a hardware refresh that you were saying. Like just improve the
but
without making a new one.
They decided not to. Anyway, Final Fantasy 16, something I'm going to get.
Nah,
you're not interested.
Nah, mate.
Fuck you guys, you'll hear all about it. Fire Emblem Engage again. I love these games.
Yeah, I know you would bring this one up.
Yes, I love it. I'll get it.
No. I played Three Houses, and when I hit the 40-hour mark, when someone turned around and told me, "Oh, that's when it gets good," I was like, "No,
it was good straight away. I love that game.
Nah, it was a bit like too handholdy, and then
it was Persona, but Fire Emblem.
I don't see it being as like Persona. Persona, at least, I think had more engaging characters like right away that you can like. Three Houses took a while for you to know all the characters, and you had to select them individually and start the game again.
It's too complicated for you.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was too complicated. It didn't have like an easy.
No, I get you. Don't worry. Dead Island 2, and he's interested in Dead Island 2.
Still can't believe that's been made.
I know, it's crazy. It's been a while, innit?
Yeah. I mean, I played the first one. Me and my brother played that because you can do co-op. We played it a good amount.
Yeah.
I got the second one, and I played it for like 10 minutes, and I was like, nah.
Is that the remaster kind of one they did with like
Riptide?
DLC?
No, Riptide. I think it was. Yeah.
Riptide was like an expansion, wasn't it? But they just released
it was basically just the same exact same thing.
Yeah.
But
Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
I probably will get that.
I think so because Rocksteady make it.
Yeah. So it does look like they're putting a lot of effort into it rather than just kind of shitting it out. And
they've seen the shit that happened to Gotham Knights, and they went, let's avoid that. Hopefully, like take out whatever bullshit. Like also make it run at 60 frames.
I can't believe
that actually hamstrung that game massively. There's a lot of people that won't play a 30 frames per second game on a new console because they're like, I bought this for the performance.
I bought a £500 or $500-$600 console, and you're not running at 60 frames per second for what reason? Artistic reasons? Fuck right off.
I mean, I have been dipping into Gotham Knights because I got it on sale and I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really one of those people that kind of cares like if it's 60 frames per second.
Also, it's really repetitive. Like none of the characters are actually special.
Well, I mean, they all have different kind of abilities, their own skill trees and stuff like that, their own costumes that you can make and stuff like that.
I think it was Jim Sterling or whatever said that it was just one of those bandit camp games.
Oh no!
I mean, like basically you go out every night and you've got like the main story, and then you've got like different case files which are their own wee stories, basically side quests.
Yeah.
But when you're out and about in the world, there's like different crimes that can happen that you just do that to get new clues and stuff like that. So I mean, there are parts of the game that are repetitive, but there's parts of every game that are repetitive. Generally speaking, like that's not the meat and potatoes of the game. You know what I mean? It's the stories. So
it's all about repetitive. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
I'm probably not going to bother getting that. I know I like the Assassin's Creed games, but I've still not even like properly played Origins.
Yeah, I know. It's too much, man, and they all are very similar. So
no.
Plus, it's not really the most exciting setting.
Iraq,
I don't think.
Mesopotamia. Is that where it is?
I think it's Iraq.
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor. We'll go get that. Street Fighter 6. Now, this is the first time I've been interested in Street Fighter in a while, since 4, I think. Which doesn't sound a lot because it went 4, 5, 6, but that's like 15 years.
Yeah.
See, sorry, on you go, Dom.
So this is the first time that Street Fighters came to all consoles now.
Yeah,
because it got Street Fighter 5 was fucking
Sony
disaster.
funded that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sony funded Street Fighter 5 because Capcom was a bit fucked.
Yeah, and it was a fucking disaster.
Yeah,
it was not good. Characters were like either too strong or not strong enough for certain ones. Hitboxes were all over the place. It looked ugly. It didn't look like a good game. It didn't look like a game that had been in the works for years.
Yeah.
And when it came at the end of it, see when it was finished, like once they'd wrapped everything up, that's when the game actually worked and looked well. But the problem is like no one wants to play it because Look what came out at the roundabout near the end of its life cycle, and how many more people went over to that. Dragon Ball Fighters, Guilty Gear. You had BlazBlue. You had all these other contenders that came up and just went, nah, Street Fighter, fuck you. Then you got Tekken 8 coming out. And
Tekken 8, mate, Tekken 8 looks fucking so good, by the way.
So they've really got to work hard on this, and I think they've got a chance because the beta was fun. I did play the beta for a wee bit.
I'm gonna get a shot. I'm not an online player either. I quite like the arcade mode.
Yeah,
like,
they've got a good arcade. They've actually got a Street Fighter mode in it as well, where you walk about and you can hustle people. Maybe like here,
hustle
them. Go up like, here, I'm a Street Fighter. I'm like, are you? I'm not very good, and then you just whip their ass and. That's
fun.
That's a cool game though.
I mean, like the thing is,
I can do the Rick and Morty Street Fighter one, where it was just you had to go and find each other, and like that's like your health bar, level, and you get bored if you get down. You're like, oh, we'll just go somewhere else.
I mean, the thing is with like beat 'em up games like that, there's sometimes I'm just in the mood to play a beat 'em up, and there's not really any other games that scratch that itch.
Yeah.
So, especially with Street Fighter, not my favourite. Like probably like Mortal Kombat and Tekken I'm more interested in.
Yeah.
But I might get to the point where I'm like, I just Street Fighter. I mean, it's not like I dislike it, but I probably will pick it up on sale. Not immediately though.
You just you'll play it and go, oh, who's that Chun-Li?
Was that not like one of the most searched terms on Pornhub? It's like Chun-Li Fortnite, and I was like, Chun-Li Fortnite?
And
what the fuck, boys? It's Chun-Li Street Fighter.
No, Chun-Li Fortnite with Ryu and Rick and Morty Fortnite. They're all on Fortnite, mate.
Anyway, Starfield. Now this is going to be Xbox's big giant game this year, hopefully. I'm kind of scared that it's going to be shite.
Oh, well, it's Todd Howard, so you don't believe the lies that he comes out of his mouth.
But it might be good in 2033 when they release the special edition.
And when we're all playing our like Xbox Supers.
It just feels like one of those games, doesn't it? Like
it's going to have something.
It's going to be built up way too much hype, and then it's just going to fall totally flat on its face.
Full as once.
It'll be on Game Pass though, so
no harm.
We'll probably try it. They say it's Skyrim in space.
Yeah,
we'll
I mean that sounds like a great thing.
Yeah,
Skyrim in space, but will it be though?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And if it's on Game Pass, I won't be too invested in if it is or isn't. To be honest.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 remake, Dom.
Mhm.
Yeah, you gonna get it? You gonna play it? You gonna stream it? You gonna get scared?
I might stream it, and I don't get scared by Resi, man. Resi's all fun, apart from when it scares me.
Apart from the scary bits.
So I'm excited to see that. It's finally got this remake after it being released on fucking every single thing known to man. You know, like someone hacked their Samsung fridge to make it so they could play Resident Evil 4 on it.
It's a competition between that and Doom, innit?
Yeah, Doom, Skyrim, and Resident Evil 4. Yeah, fucking all of them are played on everything. And it does look great. The issue that I have with it is that it's not going to be as silly.
Yeah, they'll make it more serious, won't they?
Which is not a bad thing, because Resi 2, they kind of nailed it as well, because there was some of the voice acting, you go, oh, it's a bit dodgy, but then that's its charm. But if they are going to go kind of down more of a serious route, I'd rather they lean more towards that way than try to act goofy and stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if they try too hard to make it goofy, then it seems forced, and it's not.
Yeah.
And then you miss the boat on serious and goofy. Like, it's kind of. It's when things try to be serious, like the dialogue in Final Fantasy, and that's when it's funny, because it's like, this is not serious
that guy's
at all.
Sword is bigger than him.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Redfall. That's that other Bethesda game, the one that's the vampires and you fight them, shoot them. It's kind of like the Left 4 Dead.
It's not ringing any bells for me at all, mate.
You know, remember the advert or the trailer for it, and it was like a western town, and he was firing like a crossbow with.
Not ringing any bells at all.
I think it's like a 4-player thing. It looks pretty cool. It'll be on Game Pass. We'll probably play it, but if no one even fucking remembers it, it's not a good start.
Not a good sign.
Did you just play the Wolong Fallen Dynasty demo?
Nope.
No, it's kind of like it's
Dynasty
made by guys that
Warriors?
make Neo.
All right, okay.
Like Team Ninja, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like a Soulsy type game.
I mean, when Dom was talking about Elden Ring earlier on, like I've played most of the Souls games, and I never expected to put as much time into Elden Ring. I put like probably about 100 hours in that.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it. But I don't see that happening again with that kind of game, to be honest.
Neo's maybe. I played the first Neo for a good bit and I liked it, but like Souls games just annoy me to the point where I'm just like, I need to move on to something else. Alan Wake 2.
I can't believe I got a sequel.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That is that Remedy?
Yeah, it's Remedy. There's Control and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Control 2 has been confirmed as well.
They're going to make that like Remedy universe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because he's in that. He's in the Control universe.
Because he's in like is the book. I think it's the typewriter. So the haunted typewriter.
Yeah, I got the Alan Wake remastered in like Amazon fucking whatever sale, Amazon Day or whatever it was.
Prime Day.
Prime Day. I'm gonna play it at Halloween maybe. That's maybe scary-ish.
I think it's atmospheric, you know, like it's dark and you get a flashlight kind of thing, atmosphere.
Very Silent Hill.
Yeah. Not a game that I'm like, it's massively on my radar though.
Another scary game, Dead Space remake. Are you gonna get it? I don't think I will.
I've still not played any of them. Well, I started
It's probably a
playing
good
like, the
place
first
to
one.
start though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say like if they are going to go down this route and like they are giving Isaac a voice in the first one, which
Yeah,
never
it's a bit
gave him,
weird.
which was a bit strange. But I don't know, like you know, like they gave away Dead Space the original with all the DLC on Gold. I think
Yeah,
was
is
that
it
a few
not
months
on
ago?
Game Pass as well because of that EA access?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it is,
will
like,
be, yeah.
But they gave away all the DLC with it, all the costumes and stuff. Remember they were charging people to have that
Yeah,
as well?
it's so dumb.
Microtransactions, but because I played it for Halloween not last year, the year before, and it still holds up. So like having like a fresh coat of paint on it might, you know, it might interest some people, but I don't know, like
Especially see Callisto Protocol coming out and absolutely fucking bombing.
yeah, it's such a shame because like that had such potential, but to find out that it was no gameplay, it was all very much like quick time events and
Pretty
stuff.
shit, yeah.
You know, things like that should be left in the past for a reason because no one. Again, when we were playing Avengers, when that happened with like Hulk jumping towards, or was it Hulk or Thor, and they're up in the air and it's like hit X, and if you didn't do anything, it just stood in the air, and you're like, wow, there's no fail option here. Oh man, that should have died with the last generation of consoles.
Right, guys, you'll never ever believe this. The
Mhm.
game we have all been waiting for is finally, supposedly, apparently coming out this year.
There's going to be something shite in
It's
it.
gonna be
Skull and Bones.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you remember Skull and Bones?
Yeah, Skull
Do you remember
and
when fuck, what's the pirate game for the Xbox again?
Monkey Island?
Black Flag, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves got announced.
That's pirates, eh?
Okay.
Diverse
Sea of Thieves got announced, and I think at the same E3 this got announced, and they look the same. This was one based off Black Flag.
Black Flag, yeah.
And everyone's like, well, that was like 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah, but people still to this day say that was the best like pirate game.
10 years ago. Like, and this game's been in development since then. Yeah,
Mm.
this game's one that Ubisoft's putting out that'd die, I think.
Didn't they completely overhaul it though? Like last year,
Something
Yeah.
like that.
they changed like the idea of it completely. It was
something
something like it was only going to be like naval combat, but now they're making it more or
you know how
something like that.
you can see the points where you're like, this is going to be... this is either going to surprise everyone and be amazing, which is low percentage, or it's going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be, a mess.
Yeah.
Or like the actual pirate ships when they're fighting each other with like you sneak up on one, it just does like an assassin. Takes it down.
That would be cool. I'd like that.
And then lays down the boat in the sea, and then they have this sort of altercation back and forth. It's like, I'm not the real person you're after. Like, oh my god, oh, John Silver. Yeah.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed's kind of a meme now, innit? Hollow Knight Silksong's might come out, but like I'll believe that when I
Oh,
see the fucking
really?
date, man.
I don't know what that is.
Hollow Knight's cool wee like.
Oh, Hollow Knight. I thought you said
Aye.
Hollow Knight. and I
Oh,
was like,
sorry,
I've-
sorry. I'll be more clear. Hollow Knight 2, pretty much.
If I can't understand, you just imagine the listeners, mate.
Well, your brain's fucked.
It's fine, your face is fucked.
I know.
Oh, no.
Octopath Traveler 2, bruv. Yes, that's for me. Thank
So
you,
there's
thank
more-
you,
8
Sharp
more
Hamish.
choices.
8 more characters that I can
Octo,
like. I don't know.
Like.
Octo.
Aye.
Is 8.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Is that why an octopus has 3 hearts?
this Square Enix fucking
Stabby.
subsidiary isn't very good at naming their games, right?
Yeah.
So Octopath Traveler's 8 Traveller stories,
Ah,
and then
yeah.
that Triangle Strategy is like a fucking
3,
a strategy game
Based on triangles.
with it's so
It's based on angles. It's like
so fuck mate. It's so like they should get better name. They should buy a name guy, get a name guy in.
Yeah.
Like, name these games, please.
You probably don't even need to buy one. You could probably just ask someone on the street
Yeah.
and maybe come up with
Alfred,
something better.
aye. Name this game. Boxing stuff. There we are. Boxing stuff.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
As in, like, the movie Avatar?
Yeah.
Nah, that's going to be shite.
Yeah, probably. Baldur's Gate 3. Interested? Nah.
Well, I've played that for a good while.
Because
Because
it
it was,
on access.
it was early access, and Ross and I put... A friend of the podcast, Ross, and I put a good... Because you could... Even when it came out on the early access, you could do co-op and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We played it together. We played the new game with like one of his mates and stuff like that. I can see it being good if you like those kind of games, definitely. And there already is a fair amount in it, so...
Yeah, because again, this has been like... Baldur's Gate 2 is what? 2000?
It was a while ago, yeah.
Because Kev he fucking loved Baldur's Gate, and when he heard it was on Access, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. But he can't do shit anymore.
Right, so PS VR 2 is coming out, and one of the first games is the Horizon Call of the Mountain game.
Thumbs down.
500-600 quid or something like that, the PSVR 2
it's wild. And it's wild. I still
was it actually?
Yeah. Like, I was like, they have not done well with this. Like PlayStation.
I understand
really
that.
And sort that out.
I understand that means they can run things better and less latency and stuff like that, but it doesn't outweigh the convenience of having a wireless.
Depends
headset.
what the wire is. If it's a USB-C,
it's like a big long string, mate, that plugs into the headset.
Depends what type of wire it is. Because I know that you play your Oculus with the wire.
No, well.
Sometimes with Steam games and that.
Well, no, because that was just before you could do the Airlink on the PC.
Oh, right, okay, I didn't know that.
Because that was like a kind of experimental beta feature, but you can play it wirelessly now as long as your PC's...
I don't think I want to pay another 600 quid for another headset.
I don't think I could justify it, because apart from yesterday playing with my friend Sinead on her Oculus for a while, I've not actually turned my one on in a long time, so I don't think I could justify buying another headset.
See, because I've been contemplating trying to get one, because again, like where I work, we've had someone that's came in that sells them, because we do them as like
Oculus or PSVR 2?
Oh, MetaQuests and stuff. Having them coming in to sell it.
An Oculus.
They said I like a different name than the one.
Because Oculus is the Oculus MetaQuest.
Just repeat what we say.
Okay. If you want to get it, actually. But when they came in, like that was a great experience having. No demos and that they were showing, and the only thing is that annoyed me I didn't get to play Resident Evil 4 on it, but I can see that being immersive where you can sit down, stand up with that on and not need to worry about your surroundings. And I loved my PlayStation VR. I really did enjoy it. Like, I'll forever remember playing Resident Evil 7 and it's full game in the entirety with it, like, with the fear with the headphones on and hearing everything running about with you. Like, that was a great experience. But now, when you've played things that take away those restrictions, where you have that free movement, where you can have the digits move with your hands for it, where you can actually...
that's pretty cool.
To then be told, like, oh, you need to have this and this with the PlayStation 2, VR 2, with it being restricted, having a cable down there, feeling that. I don't know. Like, and it's going to be about the same price as the console itself.
Yeah, that's a big fucking annoyance, man. Like, I love Horizon, right? And I kind of want to play this game, but I'm not going to pay 500-600 quid to play just that game.
Is this going to be? Is this going to be like a full game, or is this going to be like just a?
It's meant to be a big long experience.
Right.
Who knows what that is? Yeah. This is why it's probably best to wait and see what else they announce, because they also said that none of the original PSVR games are going to be backwards compatible. Which I can kind of understand, right? They're two totally different systems, but there's surely you can patch in. Like, some kind of fucking control scheme that works.
Yeah, it can't be that different that it's impossible.
Or what they're going to do is re-release those. Knowing Sony, they're going to re-release those games as PSVR 2 games, and you're going to have to pay fucking out the nose for them again.
I think it's too big a risk, especially because we don't know enough of other things. And even if other things come out, is it going to be enough?
Because a lot of people felt like they got bummed from the PSVR with Batman as well.
I loved that game.
That was awesome. Yeah.
How long was that? 2 hours?
2 hours. 2.5 hours, something like that.
Depends if you wanted to do all the stuff. You know what I mean? You could rattle through the story pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You just staring.
That was the first ever experience I had with it. I was around at yours, Hugh.
Yeah.
You went in the ground.
I think we did it at EGX, Tom, didn't we? That's the first time I ever done VR.
I was.
Oh no, it was me and Ross went. Because we all went. Why did I just say Dom? Sorry.
I wasn't there at that, but they had a PlayStation event in Glasgow, and I went in back with Simon, and we both went up for it, and we booked in Riggs, Batman, and there was another game, Rush of Blood.
Oh right, Rush of Blood's pretty cool, man.
Until Dawn game is phenomenal in VR.
That's quite a good starting one as well.
Yeah,
because you're just sitting and it's it's pretty simple.
If you don't like spiders, don't play it.
See when we went, when me and Ross, friend of the podcast, Ross, went to that VR thing.
Yes,
I specifically asked for Batman because I was like, well, I love Batman.
Who wouldn't want to be Batman?
Why would I pick Riggs, for fuck's sake?
Yeah.
He just went, I'll take any. So he got Riggs. And I came out of it going, like, I'm buying one of them. Like, when that comes out, I'm buying that. And I'm buying Arkham VR. And he was like, oh, it was shit. And I was like, yeah, it's obviously the game you got, mate.
See, the thing is with Riggs, I remember playing, like, quote-unquote VR in like Disneyland years ago, and they had shit like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
aye.
mean? That's not enough of a step. But whereas Batman felt like, this is something special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could play the piano and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. There was a lot of stuff. Right, by the way, I want to go back to Forspoken, right? Because I didn't realise this. The writers for that was Amy Hennig, who wrote Uncharted, Gary Whitta, who wrote Rogue One, Todd Stashwick, who wrote Uncharted as well, and Shadowhunters Alison Reimer. Like, that's like a lot of good writers. Like,
Well, there's a lot more to a game than.
no, but like that kind of star power in the writer room, like.
It bodes well for the rest of the game.
I'm quite.
And then
I'm
that means
excited.
they've got something to say. I mean, like, none of them still working on Uncharted, so that means like.
Amy Hennig
Hennig.
left to do the Star Wars game, and then Star Wars get bought by Disney, and there was a whole thing, and like she's not had a good time yet. So in January, Forspoken, Fire Emblem's coming out, and Dead Space. February, Hogwarts Legacy's coming out. Fuck that.
Well, you said you were interested.
I know,
in
but
it. It's changing your mind now.
February, man. Like I'll get that another time. It was the date more than the game. That was allowed it. You said the Wild Hearts.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
It's
yeah.
like EA's version of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
He's interested. Like, why do we need? Like, Monster Hunter does it. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Fight monsters, like, you know, like, are huge and you're little. Yeah.
Atomic Heart. Have you heard of that?
Mm.
It's like the Bioshocky Soviet game.
Yeah.
It's made by a Russian studio, so I don't know how they're getting it here. You know what I mean? With
Yeah,
all-
I
with
think,
everything.
I think
sanctions.
they usually just release it in a shop. I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't
Watch
need to go
the
to
news,
Russia
Dom.
to
Watch
get
the
it.
news. Mick Gordon's doing doing original music for it. We never ever spoke about the Mick Gordon stuff because it's very long, complicated. But he got fucked by the Doom guys, and then came out a year later and absolutely like decimated all of their arguments in like a 2-hour long video. He was like, "Oh, they claimed I did this," and he's like, "Here's the emails that they sent me," and the guy must have been just sitting in his house like, "Fuck, like I look like an idiot now."
Yeah.
Plus, you don't have Mick Gordon for the next Doom game, which is shit because he's really good.
The music is such a big part of those games. I mean,
Yeah, so
You'll
Company
hire-
of Heroes, no.
No.
Sons of the Forest, no. Kerbal Space Program. I'm just assuming none of you are interested in these games, so I've never heard you talk
I
about
mean,
it.
like, again, the reason probably why you haven't heard us talk about it is because there's not been much push for these new games. It's all about remasters currently again.
Yeah,
Again, it feels like it happens every couple of months where they'll just be like, the remaster of this coming out, a new version of the same game is coming out again.
yeah.
But we can upscale it, and if it's not that, it's TV shows of your favourite video games coming out as well.
Last of Us, we never really spoke about it, but I'm quite excited, man. Pedro Pascal's a fucking good actor, and I can't remember the girl that's playing Ellie, but she was really good
was
in
in
Game of Thrones
yeah.
and stuff. And I've read a lot online about people fucking. You could draw these people that make these opinions because they all look the same.
Yeah.
Which
Whoa,
isn't as
hold
isn't as racist that I was trying to make out, but
Might as well.
uh,
You put down your hand.
they all have the same type of channel on YouTube. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're all mad at things. They're all very mad at things all the time. They're like, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that. It's like, who the fuck knows, right?
I mean, partly who knows, but even if it does end up like that, like, just don't watch it. Like, it's the same with any of these shows. Like, it sounds like I'm not interested in talking about it, but it's because there's not really much to say when you break it down. It's like, they're going to make a show. It might be close to the game, it might not be, but that's how they're making it anyway.
The
so
game still exists.
Yeah, game still exists. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you watch it and you don't like it, watch something else. Like,
Yeah. And you can give your opinion and stuff like that. Obviously, you can say, oh, I thought it was shit, but like, the anger that some people get over stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I watched the Halo show. I'm a massive Halo fan. That Halo show was bad.
it could have been not Halo. Like,
It could have been any sci-fi thing, but that was the thing that was meant to be at a broader audience than just Halo fans.
yeah.
But you got
But
to remember how many years in that in the making?
Exactly, and
Yeah,
do you know what I
people's
enjoyed? I
expectations.
enjoyed the dumbness of it. I enjoyed how stupid it was because who's making a serious Halo show? Who's not seen a super soldier fucking sci-fi film or whatever? They're all similar.
Yeah.
I just love Master Cheeks, mate. Like, it gives some good memes and shit. Like,
Just clapping everywhere.
and then I could go play Halo if I really wanted to.
Just
Get
enjoy
some
it for
Halo.
what it is, and then move
By
on.
playing Halo.
I know, like, like, go back and play Halo 3. Like,
The
God,
cycle
they've
of
never
disappointment.
like peaked. They've never went back to this peak, have they?
Mhm.
Get back up that hill, boys.
This one's for you, Don. Bayonetta Origins, Syriza and the Lost Demon. That's
So-
coming out in March, but
Yeah, that's coming out quite soon. It's like a story time version of how Bayonetta got her powers, I think it is.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they go for, but I don't know, like, you've probably not really heard me talk about Bayo 3. It's been out for a wee while. I played some of it, and it's very, very disappointing. A lot of people have been saying it's been disappointing, but don't really go into details about it. They just go, "Oh, the camera issues and stuff, and blah blah blah."
Is that not always Bayoneta's issues though?
It's mostly sort of like
because they want to see upper skirt better, and they can't quite get there.
Just covered in hell. Like it's the.
So we know Dom's looked.
It's the platinum issue. You would always have platinum games are very like similar.
They're almost cheap, but like
they look good.
Aye, they're like a mixture of like AAA and indie, and even though they've got a bit of money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, do they after Babylon's Fall?
Yeah. But the issue I have with it is that I'm sure if someone that has the time, like I have time, maybe I could do this. Compare the intro to Bayonetta 2 to the intro Bayonetta 3. It's basically the exact same.
I think I remember you telling us
that. I was like, that's really disappointing, and it really put a bad taste in my mouth. And then when I was playing it, I'm like, oh man, this doesn't feel the same.
Is the gameplay good though?
The beginning, no, but later on, when you actually get to unlock weapons and stuff, it gets a bit better. Cool. You go through Japan, like through the subway stuff and that as well, which is great.
You know how much I love Japan.
See, the thing about these games, and it was actually something I was going to bring up, because obviously I played God of War Ragnarok this year, which probably highlighted the year for me. But one of the things that I found really refreshing about it wasn't like, oh, Kratos magically lost all your powers, so you'll need to go and get all of them again. Like,
no, you've
got like the same.
You got Metroid,
yeah. But you've got like the same weapons, and to the point where I'm like, right, how do I do this again? Like, because you get a wee pick in the first one for like breaking opening doors and stuff like that. You could seamlessly play it. The first and the second one.
Does it ask you before? Does it say like, oh, have you played the first one?
No, I don't think it did. No.
It said, boy, have you played this?
It's basically just a continuation of it, and there's only 8 boys in it in the whole thing. There was over 100.
That's because he's a man now.
So my favourite meme I've seen lately is do you know the one that's Atreus and fucking Kratos beating up Balder? And like it's the fucking Aerosmith song that plays behind it.
Dream on.
Dream on. Yeah. But like it's like a pizza box and Greta and Balder's fucking what's his
Andrew
face?
Tate,
Andrew Tate, and like I just like that's amazing.
That's really funny.
System Shock remake's coming up by the way.
That was a great game, and apparently it's meant to go back to like the kind of older style of them.
Really?
So I've heard anyway, but I remember playing that on the PC
I
like
remember
ages ago.
Watching Kev play that on PC.
Yeah,
like, System Shock 2 was amazing.
That was a creepy game, man. That was great atmosphere in that.
It was good twists and turns and stuff story wise for it, and you're like, whoa. There was one moment that happens in System Shock 2 I could still remember going. I remember Kev going, what the fuck, and just like saying that. My mum going, what are you doing up there?
I think it's reminding me like, why has there not been another Bioshock type game or a Bioshock sequel?
Didn't make enough money, Infinite.
Yeah, Infinite, a lot of people were kind of disappointed with.
Infinite wasn't as good as the first one.
No.
But it was still good.
No.
I haven't played the second one.
Second one, I mean, it was just kind of more of the same, like, but...
I love the DLC for Infinite. That was really interesting.
Because they go back to Rapture and that.
Everyone loves Rapture, you know what I mean?
What's that game that's coming out that looks just exactly like...
Is that not
Bioshock?
Shock Bio.
There's one, and it looks like the same assets and everything, like...
I can't remember.
You've got like the gun and the spell and stuff like that.
See, that's the thing is like, would you want to play another Bioshock game that isn't Bioshock, even if it's kind of similar to it? Because the reason why you like Bioshock is because of the story that it told with, like, Big Daddy, Little Sisters.
Yeah, it was an interesting setting and an interesting story.
Because again, it's like, I think that's when they were like, oh, we're at the water, let's go to the clouds, and then where'd you go after that? You're like, fuck, it's difficult. At the same time, it's like, where else do you go? Yeah,
they maybe kind of just naturally came to a conclusion.
I keep seeing games I'm going to have to add to my list of games I want to play. Like a Dragon Ishin. So Like a Dragon's Yakuza's actual name. So that's what Yakuza's called in Japan, Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
So Ishin's the one where it's a remake of a PS3 game. A lot of remakes.
Yeah.
It's the one where it's back in the Edo period, where you're like, you back in fucking... you're not go back in time. It's just set then.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the same sort of characters from Yakuza,
looks like I've heard it's really fucking good. It was never released in the West, never got an English release.
Kev was obsessed with that, like trying to find a way to bring that over because he couldn't get it without a Japanese PlayStation or Japanese something that was like encoded and
region locked.
When I showed him the trailer and he's like, where did you find this fake trailer? And I went, mate, it's just been announced now. And then it
Oh,
was
they're
like
going
10
all
minutes
in
later,
now.
he's like, fuck me. It was like that.
How did Yakuza get to like 9 games, 8 games, and then they were like, "Oh, now we're big.
Well,
Like
yeah,
now
what
we're
happened
like big enough to like release more games." It's
Yeah.
Like,
it's
the
weird.
reason why I got into Yakuza was because of Kev, but there was boys we watched on YouTube, two best friends play, who
Yeah,
would not shut the fuck up about how good Yakuza was.
yeah, man, it's
and
so
then
fucking
that
good.
suddenly, I felt like when they started talking about it, a lot more people started playing it and realised how good that was. And then, like,
Yeah.
the Dragon came out, like, everybody loved that.
Judgment was my first Yakuza game.
It had enough of a kind of cult following to keep it going and keep games coming out
Ah,
for
it's
it to
great.
eventually.
I think
Well,
everyone
of course,
should play Lost Judgment.
Mm.
Lost Judgment's fucking amazing, and everyone should play 8 or Like a Dragon. But Like a Dragon's kind of weird. I don't think the RPG mechanics were very fleshed out. It was quite easy, but like such a good game.
Yeah.
So fun. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming out, by the way.
Is that the remake of the Game Boy?
I think so.
Like, cause
I love Kirby games. They're always fun.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the Forgotten Lands is like, I'm planning on streaming that hopefully soon, like as a New Year sort of game. Is like, I think that'd just be something to ease on to, like the Mario Odyssey of Kirby games.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
where you can, Kirby just has like, he like sucks on a car and it becomes a car and you're like, what the fuck? This is odd.
It sounds good though.
Yeah. So,
I'm just looking at the other ones. I'm just skipping ones that I know you don't give a fuck about. Like,
you better not skip Hello Kitty Land. Hello Kitty.
like
I mean,
I'm
it's-
basing it off of stuff I would like. Armored Core 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armored
That's how I always feel about Armored Core. Meh.
If like, see if they did an Armored Core game based on Gundam, like see the Gundam series where you could go through all of that all the way up to like the latest Gundam series, I think that would be fun. The
That'd be
issue
cool.
is like the Gundam.
I like the new
franchise
Gundam
is
series,
just
by the way.
fucking all over the place. You're like, Jesus Christ, and
I'm into it now. I've been watching Gundam, and it's so fun.
Gundam
So political,
Wings.
man. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
how
that's-
political it gets. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
politics and big robots.
yeah,
Your
I am
thing.
in.
yeah, like you look at some of the sides of it as well. It's like how could you side with them? It's like, but that's my brother, that's my family. And it's like, and then they start fighting in space. And you're like, this is space opera. Well, Gundam Wing's brilliant, and then just avoid Gundam Seed. Just I think when we were in Japan in the Gundam cafe, and I started playing, I started booing. I was like, no, get Gundam Seed off that telly now. Fucking hate Gundam Seed.
Hades 2 isn't coming out, but it's got an early access.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
and
Like,
I mean, it looks just kind of the same.
next year at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested.
Which
in it.
doesn't mean it's a bad thing, you know what I mean?
I just
But-
want to say, friend of the podcast, Ross, never actually beat
Did
that
he
game.
actually
Never beat
ever?
Hades even once.
That's terrible, mate.
I know. See, he probably won't listen to this, but sorry, Ross, you told me that because I actually asked him, like, "Are you like the look of Hades 2?" And he was like, "Oh, I never beat the first one." I was like, "You fucking what, mate?"
you called him out.
Considering that you don't even get like the rest of the story till you beat him 10 times, like
I know. I think I beat him like 6 times, and I was like, "You know what? I'm kind of done."
I'm done,
Like,
I'm done beating my dad. Done this.
that's the only
Sad
thing.
now.
like, that's the only thing that I'm worried about with the second one. Will there be? I think. Will you have less time with it before it starts feeling repetitive because we've played the first one? Like,
Yeah. The first one was such a surprise to me. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't know if I'd like these," because I don't like Diablo and stuff like that. And I started playing it. I was like, "Oh no, it's quite addictive." And the story's quite cool.
Yeah.
I like the character, the voice acting was really good.
Hey, Skelly was awesome.
Skelly was cool.
Skelly's a cool guy.
Have you heard of Lies of P?
Is
No.
that the tiger that's in the boat with that guy? Or was that
No,
Life of Pi?
that was
Life
Life
of
of Pi. Is that just because one had like Pi begins with P?
Yeah.
Right. It's a Pinocchio game,
All
but
right.
Dark Souls.
That's strange.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember seeing someone talking about. I can't remember who was talking about it. I was like,
It's an action
Wait, what?
RPG with analogues to Pinocchio, Geppetto, and Jiminy Cricket.
okay. Question: has the IP for Pinocchio gone up somewhere? Because we had like 4 Pinocchio movies and they're a fucking game.
I think it's public domain.
It must be, yeah.
Public
Like,
That's why
I
Winnie
know-
the Pooh had that mad fucking horror thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, because Mickey's up this year.
but yeah,
Oh no,
Guillermo,
that'll get changed. They'll
Guillermo
change
del
it.
Toro made a Pinocchio
Yes,
one, didn't
that's-
he?
I want to
Yeah.
see that. That'll be
Yeah.
creepy as fuck.
But yeah, it must be. But even then, like it's the same with like Winnie the Pooh. It is up like the original Winnie the Pooh character, but obviously Disney's, or is it Disney?
Disney. Yeah.
Aye.
Disney don't own it.
Disney's-
It's not. They don't own it.
But they own their representation of the character.
Aye.
Like, so it'll be like the original Pinocchio, for example. People can but they couldn't like make it with the wee red shorts and stuff like that in the Disney film.
Like in 100 years they won't be able to, there'll be another version of the Patches and Podcast.
I know those bastards.
It's never going to be as good.
Or as bad.
Okay, they thought we got to try that. They just got to try slightly harder on us.
Which isn't difficult.
So autumn 2023, and it's Spider-Man 2. Now I think we're all going to play this game.
So I think about that time is when I'll consider getting a PlayStation 5 again.
Yeah, you'll probably get a bundle and it'll have a fucking
Spider-Man
cool faceplates and whatever on it.
Maybe see if it's Venom on it. Oh,
yeah, that'd be cool.
I would buy that. Mate.
Yeah, let's all sell our PS5s.
Now, what I'm expecting from this game is the same quality that we got from the original one, but obviously with maybe more focus on Miles. Miles was really good in Miles Morales. He was like well executed and he was well developed. Obviously not with his dad not being there as well, but having his uncle there, but he's still in the picture. I think he's still in the picture. He just got arrested. I can't really remember now, Miles Morales. But anyway, I just do that, but on a bigger scale, with Venom being there as well.
If I had my disc for that, I don't know where it went.
Yeah, no one knows where it went, mate. It's okay.
It's like my Uncharted 4, Dom.
See, the thing is,
Uncharted 4, what was the collection?
No,
it's changing your story.
It's Uncharted 4. I have the collection now.
Like,
stop this podcast so we saw it.
The thing about Spider-Man 2 is I can't really think of many things that they can add to it without just making it bigger for the sake of making it bigger.
Yeah, because they need different mission types. The first game got repetitive because it was that kind of, here's an area, here's the 5 different mission types you've got, and then it just repeated that throughout the city.
But even then, it feels like, I mean, we all liked Spider-Man and Miles Morales, but it feels like if they had added even more different types of missions, you still would have hit a limit of, right, I've done enough here, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean,
I just don't know
the missions.
Yeah. I just don't know how well it's going to work, and I don't mind if it is just the same as like the first one in size and scope and things like that, because
I don't bloat it though.
Yeah.
Don't Assassin's Creed us here. Don't 100 hours us.
Do you think that the reason? Do you know what? I'm just really thinking about it now because of obviously the game's coming out relatively soon after Spider-Man. That we might get a first appearance of Wolverine in the game as well, just to tie with Wolverine.
No, I don't think they would.
That got delayed, didn't it?
Well, it doesn't have a date, I don't think, at the moment. But I don't think they would.
The Hunter guy's in it as well.
Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter, he's in it. So with then him and Wolverine could,
No, I don't think they would.
Kraven will be like, is it Taskmaster? He was in the first one, wasn't he?
He was in the first one, because
Kraven might be like the side bad guy.
There probably will be like kind of. There certainly will be, obviously, known villains and stuff like that. But I don't think that they would bring in Wolverine just because he's got his own game coming up. Not that it would confuse people, but it just seems unlikely.
A Marvel universe inside video games.
That's all we need. More fucking universes.
Yeah.
Sick of this one. Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
Like,
bring back a Pikmin.
I mean, I haven't played Pikmin since like 2.
Aye.
And I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh, this is.
No, it's not.
This is Pikmin, innit?
Pikmin, when you watch them, you just get all your wee guys up, and then a big fucking frog comes out and just eats them all, and then you're like, well, that's a waste of a day. Thanks
Do you know, I
hate it.
Yeah, I used to look at Pikmin and Pokemon together, and I went, they just looked at one successful thing and went, we'll make it sound like that one.
Yeah.
Pikmin. Wolf Among Us 2 is meant to come out next year as well, and I don't know how I feel about Wolf Among Us 2 because it isn't made. The whole thing with Telltale games is so fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, if it is like the first one, that was probably my favourite Telltale game.
Yeah.
So if it is at least fairly similar to it, then I'll probably be picking that up and I'll hopefully enjoy it.
Yeah. Because I heard like the Tales of Borderlands was in the same sort of vein as that, but then they released so many. They had the Guardians one, and then they had
Guardians was.
I enjoyed the Guardians one,
but it was the same kind of structure all the time, and it was fine. I liked the Wolf Among Us.
I liked the Back to the Future one.
The Batman one was alright. I didn't play the second Batman one.
I heard that was okay with Joker, and his name was Joe and stuff. Yeah, I did hear like that was a bit strange.
But as well, they found a formula, and that's what actually killed them because
they ran it into the ground.
They did the Game of Thrones one, which I didn't think was well received. I'm not 100%.
I don't think there was enough of the I mean, you did see characters that you knew from the show and the books and stuff like that, but not enough for people to be interested in it.
It's more because they could kill them off and then it would.
Yeah. The only thing with the Telltale games is I think if you like the setting, because I I think I played Tales of the Borderlands, but I was drunk, so I didn't actually remember. I came back to it and I was like in the middle of the game, and I was like, nah, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And I don't like
what?
I don't like the Borderlands setting or story enough to
care.
Aye, yeah, basically, yeah.
Go run through a few other games that are coming out in 2023. Supposedly Crash Team Rumble. Is that like Crash Bash type?
Yeah, it's a remake of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks alright.
Aye.
I wish
it's Toy for Bob's that's doing that.
Yeah, see, like this whole Microsoft thing is. Like, I don't give a fuck if Microsoft buy Activision, right? Who cares? That's a business thing. But like, I just want someone to tell Activision to let Toys for Bob and stuff
go back to doing what they
like
do.
Make Tony Hawk fucking Pro Skater 3 and 4 like remaster, and then make like a Tony Hawk 6 because 5 is shite. Let them do things that they're good at. Stop making them make fucking skins for Call of Duty.
But that's where the money is, mate.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, with these kind of games, these wee party games and stuff like that, not just with like the big ones, but if I'm looking through the Xbox store, I always see it and I think that'd be great fun if like 4 of us were all hanging out, but those opportunities don't really come up very often.
Yeah.
So even if we were excited about that, the chances of us actually all getting together to play it, like, I mean, obviously we could do it if we really tried, but it's just
Mario Party is better and we don't ever do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's another Like a Dragon game coming. It's Like a Dragon Guide and the man who erased his name, which is like after 6 something happens with Kiryu and he disappears from the story, and 7 starts with Ichiban. So this game is meant to bridge between 6 and the next game that's coming, which has Kiryu and Ichiban in it.
Oh, right, okay.
So, I mean, see when I saw them walk out together, I was like, my boys, hype! And then, what's with Kiryu's hair?
He's older.
He's had great emo fringe. I was like, what the fuck?
He's like, I've just decided to stop dyeing my hair.
I mean, I'll play it.
Of course you will.
Mate, those games are so fucking fun. Lollipop Chainsaw's getting a remake.
Yeah, I heard about that with James Gunn. Like, I think he
wrote it, didn't he?
The game
oh, right,
stuff,
okay.
Which is so bizarre.
That was one of those games like I rented.
Yeah,
it's not something that I would buy probably. But
was it fun though?
Aye,
it's just a mindless hack and slash kind of thing.
I love those games.
Like, yeah, and when you're in the mood for it, it's perfect. You know what I mean?
The villains were great. I remember like the punk rocker zombie guy would yell like words at you, like you'd yell cuss words at you, and you'd had to avoid his attacks. So like fuck would just come out and just
yeah.
and
that's pretty cool.
And then obviously Mickey just gets stuck in your head. Fucking hell, Mickey, and you're like, oh, fucking.
Yeah,
I want to die now.
A stylish game, and the fact that James Gunn is attached to it makes me more interested.
He's no one's favourite guy. Well, to be fair, I don't really like care, but like the whole DC thing, we'll talk about that. But like, he's no one's favourite guy right now.
My favourite guy.
Metal Slug's getting a new game, right? But it's not Metal Slug. It's Metal Slug Tactics.
Metal Snail.
That'd be pretty cool. Metal Slug Tactics. I'm assuming it's kind of like a fucking
tactical game,
tactical RPG. So like Advance Wars, maybe.
Like Advance Wars or Fire Emblem.
Hopefully, Advance Wars comes out this year. Yeah. Nintendo like, oh, there's a war going on in Ukraine. We can't release Advance Wars, and it's like, there's a war going on all the time, man.
Yeah,
it's a war in my heart.
Give me Advance Wars, man. I love that game. There's a few other Super Bomberman R2. The first one was kind of shit.
The first one was really glitchy.
Stellar Blade. Do you remember the trailer for Stellar Blade? You should, Hamish. You're into these things. It was just a half-naked woman, like cutting things up, like hack and slash style.
Nice.
Looked really fun.
Was it the AI with the robot kind of?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it had tentacles, and I think that's when Hamish was like, "Oh, yeah."
No, that's not ringing any bells. Mate.
I'm no.
Promise.
No recognising a lot of these games. Those are the games that IGN tell me are coming out next year. So
thanks to IGN.
No, don't thank IGN. God damn it.
Oh, you name dropped them first, mate.
So what's it? So since we were talking about James Gunn, that Hugh, obviously you're so excited about everything that's going to happen in the DCU universe, but obviously, like, I don't know how to feel about it. I was one of the people that came out of Black Adam going like, wow, that was
definitely a rock film.
that was a waste of time. But hey, man, we got Superman. That'll be interesting. And then to find out maybe a couple of months later that it's all kind of went to shit. There is a great meme though that I did see. I shared to Craig, which was like obviously The Rock, as Black Adam, and then there's Peacemaker John Cena.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania, and it's Black Adam doing that with John Cena, because John Cena would still be in that DCU.
Yeah, I think he's the only because he's saying like Peacemaker isn't in a film. He's not in the big universe. I know they had a cameo like
yeah, two of them, Jason Momoa and
Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
but his films fucked off because he went and had a mad turn. But like I can see,
is that what we call it?
I don't like go into detail.
But yeah.
But like, I can see where James Gunn's like we'll just start again because like someone like broke down the DCEU and I was like, yeah, I'd just fuck all that off, like because like there was films and then there was big gaps and then there's like another Batman film but it's not the same guy and then there's another Joker film, now there's a third joke and
like, it is all over the place. It's a hot mess when you actually look at it.
So I can see why he was like we're just starting again.
Yeah,
like the Henry Cavill thing wasn't James Gunn's like I don't think James Gunn wanted to bring him back in the first place.
No,
I think The Rock made an executive decision.
Yeah,
and said
we're putting him in as a cameo, and
but The Rock should have brought Zachary Levi in as Shazam because Shazam Black Adam. But he said that
he didn't want to deal with it.
He doesn't want to be in Shazam because he only plays in the big leagues, and it's like, bro, Shazam and Black Adam are just like that's their enemies.
Yeah,
Superman gets involved sometimes, but they don't interact.
Yeah. I think that while it's annoying that they're kind of resetting it all because you're losing out on some great casting like Henry Cavill with Superman and Ben Affleck as Batman and stuff like that, it's necessary to just hit the reset button.
Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and
Jason Momoa?
No, I think Henry Cavill are all suing DC, Warner Bros. Saying like they all rejected films or had to not take films. Had to do all these things
because they were
promised different things, and then they just said like this isn't happening, and they're like it's not our fault that you fucked this up.
Yeah, which is fair.
I mean, the thing is, it's like it's not even to a state of like it's been a couple of bombs. Like how can you fuck up Batman versus Superman? How can you fuck up the Justice League? How could you fuck up the Suicide Squad twice?
Zack Snyder something like I did.
I thought a second Suicide Squad was good.
The second Suicide Squad was great, but they still like not as successful as it, so it's still considered a failure.
Yeah,
it's like so
that was a really good film.
Why was that considered a failure when it was better? Since you had a competent director, you had great acting.
Yeah,
was it not advertised properly? Then whose fault was that? Is that like so? Yeah, it's on Warner Brothers to be advertising the shit out of that movie, which they didn't do because. Everyone that I remember when I went and seen that in the cinema, and I remember coming out thinking, "Oh my god, that's them! They've nailed it here. Who fucking needs Will Smith? Get him the fuck, just keep them all together."
I think
slap the shit out of everybody.
I don't think we need more. I don't think we need like another universe. I think just take stories. You know how they're animated universe?
Yeah.
Not take a story, and it'll make the film out of the story, and then they won't go right. Oh, no, on the next film.
Yeah,
I think that's what
just wee one-offs and stuff like that. And
Marvel films, like it's not a film. This is an episode of a show. It's an episode of the Marvel show. Because a lot of the time they're like, everyone's like, oh, what's Phase 4 leading to? And it's like, who cares? Are the films good?
Yeah,
Shang-Chi was good.
Yeah.
What other films got at Phase 4?
Black Panther Wakanda.
I haven't seen Black Panther.
I've still not seen that yet.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, there's a lot of films that I watch and I'm just like,
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was quite good.
Like Thor: Love and Thunder was.
He went the opposite. Like people like we quite like funny Thor, but we like funny sad Thor.
Yeah, that was similar to what I was saying. Like when you lean too much into trying to be funny, it just doesn't work. Like
yeah, that's why Hugh, you always like pull back your jokes because like if you were funny all the time, like Hamish wouldn't have a time to shine with you.
No, we've already got his face to look at, so it's funny enough.
But anyway, I think they made a mistake by giving Zack Snyder the keys to everything when he obviously didn't really understand what made the characters worth watching. Anyway,
do you think he did it because like it's not that he didn't understand, he just didn't care?
Yeah, he didn't care, and that's like there's always interpretations, right? But Superman isn't a sad character.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's a hopeful character.
Yeah.
Batman is the vengeance sad character. Mixing them together should have brought one a bit down and one a bit up.
Yeah.
Not
everything down.
Everything down.
Yeah.
But not even by like a little bit, by like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because like how could you fuck up so many characters?
Well, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was like she was bad casting anyway. She's not a good actress.
Like, she looks
she looks very good. But like,
and I liked Wonder Woman.
The first one was good.
The second one was I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. Seek the truth, you.
I don't really remember a lot of Wonder Woman 84. Like there was a lot of things that I was like,
the bad CGI really help and like.
Was that a COVID film, or was it pre-COVID?
Don't they have Pedro Pascal in it though?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris
Aye,
Pine.
Oh, they have Pedro Pascal in it.
Pascal
is
was
it?
the bad guy.
Pedro Pascal's always good, but I think that in general the story was just kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
Kind of shit.
Blackbuster, you had to like tell, like, you know, wish on something. Aye, see, like, that's
Aye,
fucking
like,
mental. And she was
Everyone's
losing her
wishes came
powers.
true, and he got the power from them or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And see, the thing is, like with superhero stuff, you expect to have to suspend your disbelief, but there's, there's levels to that shit.
Yeah. No,
Are we getting to the point? Do you think this will be the year where fucking superhero movies will just be like
No. I think we're at a point now where it doesn't matter. Like look at cinema in general. I think cinema in general is kind of fucking up because unless films now make billions and stuff like that, they don't get made.
Mm.
Like I watched 2 films in the cinema lately that weren't superhero films, and one was The Menu, which was a cool Ralph Fiennes film. It was awesome. Probably didn't make a lot of money.
No.
The other one was Glass Onion, which is Netflix funded. People didn't go to the cinema to see it because it was coming on
Yeah,
Netflix.
it's coming on to Netflix. Yeah.
And it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, there was like Black Panther 2 and stuff, and I was like, I kind of know what, like, I don't know what's in the film, but I know what I'm going to get from that film.
And
And I think
that Weird Al Yankovic movie. That movie's good.
I downloaded that. I'm going to watch the Weird Al film. I want to see it.
Daniel Radcliffe's fucking great in it.
Just remember, it's all totally true story. It's,
Yeah,
it's basically a documentary.
It's
you know?
basically a documentary. It's amazing.
I think films and games are going through this thing now where you're either a really small film, indie film, or a real small game, or you're a AAA game,
Yeah, nothing in
or
between.
a Marvel or Star Wars and stuff like that. And I think that's where we don't get that mid-sized creativity anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not allowed to.
And I think that fucks up the Marvel films though, because unless you're making billions, you're not considered good.
People will always put a number that's there. Like they'll do the same with like people when they're in competitions with stuff. They'll be like, look how much DC audience or how many DC audience like this movie compared to Marvel movies here. And they're always at competitions with each other when it's like,
oh, that's
you don't just
fanboyism.
enjoy, you don't just enjoy the product.
Moving on from that. I sent you a list, right? I've got an app on my phone. I think it's an IGN app, but like you can create playlists of what you want to play.
Yeah.
So like I was like, there's always these series and games that I buy that I go, I'll finally get to that. But then a game comes on Game Pass at high on life, and you're just like, I'll just jump on that, or I'm playing Modern Warfare 2, and I'm like, maybe I should be playing another game. So I actually made a list, and I think the list I sent to you had like
2,000 hours on it.
80 odd games, 2,000 odd hours, and I was like, try what that would have to play games for like 6 hours a day for the whole year. Now I would love to do that, but with life
in general,
you can't do that. So I cut it down to, it says 48, but I think it's going to go up to 50 if I add Forspoken and another game on it.
So see, if you think about it that way, you could finish a game in a week. That doesn't seem like particularly hard to do. But depends on.
I'm going to tell you a few of the games I've got on this list though. So this list says 1,200 hours on it now. So that's about half of what I said before. So I was saying if I play games like 2 to 3 hours a day, which is what I usually do anyway.
Yeah.
But there's also days like a Saturday or Sunday where you play like 6 hours, and a lot of these games I've already got hours into.
It's hard to kind of figure it out mathematically because you might be away on holiday for a week, so that's none. But then you can make it up in other times. But
yeah,
to the best of
So I'm going to just do it alphabetically, right? I'm going to run through them.
I'm not going through every single.
No, I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to run through a couple of games, right? So like 13 Sentinels of Aegis Rim. It's a PS4 game.
Jesus.
Anime game, mate. You'll hate it, but it's like 40 hours long.
That story that I heard, the story is really good in that.
Yeah,
and it's not as weeb. Like Hamish, it's got a good story.
It's not a hardcore weeb game. It's just
animated, but it's not like,
intermediate weeb.
There's
game.
also Akiba's Trip, which is a very weeb game. It's about Akihabara.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
It's like no, but
put down that pillow.
Alundra. It's a PS1 RPG. Asura's Wrath, which is like a fucking 6-hour Xbox 360 game. Arkham City. I never beat Arkham City.
Oh really?
And I really want. No, I did not beat Arkham City. And I wanted to. Do you know what game I want to play most? Origins. Because I heard that's a super interesting game. Like, it didn't run very well, but it's interesting, and it's kind of sad that it never got.
They patched a lot of the problems with it.
Yeah, they had a problem where you couldn't go and get a Riddler trophy, and it glitched your game and deleted it. That was a big one. I was like, oh shit.
Riddler really fucked you there.
He was like, haha, fuck you, Bruce.
I think it was Origins as well, where you didn't have you couldn't like press start and save it. It just always was auto saving.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
anytime, like how sometimes if you're on the rooftops and then you hear thugs talking or whatever, it would save what you'd heard. But if you turned off your Xbox or if you quit the game while it was saving that, which it didn't give you any indication it was, then corrupt save file. I lost loads of progress. And I was
that
that's
sucks,
so annoying.
Bayonetta 1.
Yeah, Bayonetta's fun.
I got the Vanquish Bayonetta pack on Xbox, so I'm going to play Bayonetta 1. Chrono Trigger, I'm going to play the DS version that I stole off you. I'm going to finish Final Fantasy 7 Reunion, Danganronpa 2, Earthbound. I'm going to finally beat Earthbound. Earthbound's a big SNES RPG. I don't know.
I've heard of Earthbound, mate. It's Nez and all that. Nas, what's his name?
Nez.
Nez, yeah.
El Shaddai. Have you ever heard of El Shaddai?
Yes.
Shakira?
You haven't, have you? It's an Xbox 360 game. I got it. It looks really fun. Fable Anniversary.
Yep.
Because I actually want to get beat Fable 3 before the next Fable.
I played Fable Anniversary fairly recently. It's just
Hold up.
Angie was playing Fable 2 and that was like fun, just sitting like backseat gaming.
I had the really fun though.
I mean,
I watched Shane play it.
They are fun.
It
It still
good.
has all the charm of the original game, obviously. It's still dated, even the anniversary, but
the dialogue's great though.
yeah, if you've not played it.
Fine with it. I quite like a dated game.
Yeah.
Famicom Detective Club's a game I'm playing. It's a visual novel on the Switch. It's like 6 hours long. I played the first one. It's good. So
it's like
it's a murder mystery.
Yeah, Ace Attorney.
So
Yeah, it's not like
6 hours long. It's probably going to take you about 12.
Fuck you. Yeah, maybe if I have to figure stuff out. Final Fantasy 15, not the game, just some of the DLC I didn't actually play.
Which is crazy because, like, see, when you said that, I was like, hold on, what do you mean you've not played? You love this game and you're like, I didn't finish the DLC.
There's
like,
so much to do in that game though. I think I beat it twice, and then I played a couple of the DLC packs, and then I was like,
I do like the Ignis one. If you've not played Ignis, I think it's
nah. I also need to watch the anime.
No, you don't.
Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, like the first one.
You okay?
I've got that. The new Front Mission remaster for the Switch. Front Mission. It's like it's kind of like Fire Emblem, but with mechs.
Oh, okay.
God of War. See, that's a game I've already got like 10-15 hours in. Just gonna beat that. Golden Sun, GBA game.
Golden Sun is great. I fucking love Golden Sun.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, because the second one's coming.
That's a good game.
Ico. I've got the remastered one for the PS3. I'm going to play that. The Klonoa collection, I'm going to beat that. Life is Strange 2, I never actually finished the last 2 episodes of that.
Oh, you loved them as well?
Yeah, but the second one was strange. Second one was different.
They're all pretty strange, mate.
Yeah.
Love Alive, I'm going to finish that because like I've done like half of the stories on it. There's like a set of 8 stories.
So you've done 4?
I've done 4. The Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I followed that.
Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission. They are very short games. Love Metroid.
You finished
I finished Dread and I fucking loved it. And I was like, I need to play more Metroid, and then forgot about it.
Yeah, I need to get Dread. I need to play that because I think that'd be great.
I'm going to finish the last couple of stories on Octopath Traveler. I'm going to beat Persona 4 Golden this year, Dom.
You've got some.
Look at Hamish like, I hate all of these games.
It's like one of those games that does take like a lot of time to do. Like I'm replaying Persona 5. Like I've got Persona 5 Royal, just to see the extra bits that are in the game.
Yeah, it's like an extra 20 hours or something like that.
And I think Andrew was like, how long are you playing it for? And I'm like, this is 40 hours into it. And I'm like, I think I'm like a third of the way through.
Yeah,
she looked at me and was like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's loads more here. And all the characters, it says there's loads more people coming, and keeps jumping back to the investigation talk and stuff. She's like, what the fuck?
It's a big ass game. I'm playing Persona 4 on the Vita, which I quite like because you can play it anywhere.
Golden P4 is great, but see if it gets to a bit where you're like, you need to do more and do the replay for it. And it's another 60 hours. It's a lot. Because when Kev told me that, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing 60 hours of this game. 16 more hours of this game.
Well, I'll tell you my rules after this, right? Okay. I'm going to beat Pokemon Red. I already started that. We were going to do the Pokemon retrospective, and we kind of pushed all that stuff back, so I'm going to actually beat Pokemon Red. That is a very easy game. That plays itself pretty much for me because I've beat it so many times. Portal. I'm actually going to beat Portal.
Oh,
never beat Portal.
Portal 2 as well, because Weasley's awesome.
That is actually on the next list of, if I beat this list, there's another list to play. The first Professor Layton game. Fuck it, I've been dying to play a Professor Layton game. You ever played them, Hamish?
Yeah.
They're so fucking addictive. Skies of Arcadia, RPG on the GameCube.
RPG, yeah, that's the one you can get like 100 crewmates and stuff like that. Yeah.
Star Ocean for the PS4. Super Mario RPG, which because I bought it, I actually have that game.
I loved that.
That's my call.
That was a great game.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Wait, hold on.
I bought 4 versions, never played one.
Jesus.
I get bogged in with other games. What other game came out at that time? Ghost of Tsushima?
I remember starting Last of Us Part 2 and just not going back to it.
But I really want to because I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, did I get the remake of the first one? And I was like, nah, just play the second one. Like, you already played the first one.
Yeah.
The Last Story, which is the guy that made Final Fantasy, made that for the Wii.
Yeah.
Trails of Cold Steel, awesome game. Wind Waker, because I want to play it.
Good game.
Finish The Wolf Among Us, never actually beat it. Transformers War for Cybertron.
That's a platinum game as well.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, oh, sorry, that's Devastation, isn't it? Sorry.
Aye, that's Devastation. This is like Gears of Transformers. Pretty cool. Triangle Strategy. I mean, I've already got 25 hours in. I just need to fucking beat it. Uncharted 2. Never finished that game. This is pretty much a list of games that I promised I was
going to go
go
back to and finish.
Valkyria Chronicles, which is a PS4 game. Beautiful Joe.
Yep.
Xenoblade Chronicles and Yakuza 0. So that is a lot of games, and a lot of them are very long, but a lot of those games I've already put a good amount of hours into.
We need
just
to stop the
them.
podcast right now so Hugh can actually start in these games.
No, like, the thing is, a lot of these games I can play portably, so I could take them with me, you know, but like, instead of hanging out with you guys, I could just sit and play my games.
The only thing, though, is, like, you're saying this is your list, you're obviously going to, like, what if you play Bayonetta 1, and then you're like, that was awesome, I want to play Bayonetta 2. I want to play,
this is my list, Hamish.
Oh, so you're just not going to deviate from that list at all?
Well, saying that in January is a hard thing, but like I've added Forspoken and Final Fantasy to it, so those games don't have how long to beat shit. So who knows how long they are?
Yeah,
probably 40 hours each or something like that. But my rules, I'm going to just go through my rules of this, right?
Okay.
What are the rules?
So you know what it's like when you play a 360 Xbox One game or a PlayStation game. You want trophies and achievements. I'm not going to concentrate on that. I'm just going to play the game and enjoy it and beat it. See the credits is beat it. Move on.
What if you load up a game and it's got watch credits on the menu?
Oh, there you go. Win already.
Life hack.
No, I'm just good. I honestly think that fucks my brain sometimes when I'm going to a game. Yeah. I went to do it with High on Life. I checked the achievements and which ones I hadn't got, and I was like, "Why are you doing this?" Yeah, like you've enjoyed it.
I considered that as well, and then I saw that there's one that you need to do like some of the bounties in a specific way, so I would need to start again, and I was like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, I can't be asked doing that. Yeah. I mean, I think I had like 600 gamer score. I was like, that's fine. Like, I mean, it's any number is fine. Like, anyway. I saw the end of the game. I got everything I wanted from that game. Yeah. Do you want to ruin your experience by spending more time on it? Back into it. And there's no order I'm going to do these in. It's how I feel. And I might be like, the other thing, a lot of these games are big RPGs and you could pick it up for 10 hours, play another game, blah blah blah. Yeah. But I will update. This is part of the I'm going to try and do updating during the podcast and be like, this is how far I am in these games and how much I've done. And I actually want to have these beat way before the end of the year, but who knows? It depends. I'm starting a new job soon and stuff, so we'll see how much time I've actually got.
Next year, the first podcast of 2024, we're going to revisit this list and we're going to see how many you've actually finished, alright?
Yeah, I kind of wanted you to do some of the lists.
So I had a look at it, and like, there's games that I do want to complete, or like I've started already, really, like Persona Royale. I'm like, yeah, I really need to get the finger out for that, because probably this year they will announce the next Persona game.
Yeah, they're going to. Persona 6 will come.
And I'm thinking, like, from what it looks like, they might do like a hybrid. From the way I'm looking at it, like the way that they've kind of been rumoured about, that they keep talking about 3, 4 and 5. 3, 4 and 5. I'm like, they're not going to take all the protagonists from 3, 4 and 5 and put them in one game, maybe, like, because that'll be unheard of, but it makes sense.
Here's the other thing with this list, right? Persona 3 and 4 are coming to Game Pass.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, no, like, don't you add another 100-hour game to this fucking list? Yeah. They will always be there. At some point, you can play them. I think Persona games and games like Trails of Cold Steel, you have to take big gaps between them.
You do.
Because they're so overwhelming with their systems and their story. And
yeah, I'm going to be honest, they're very similar.
Yeah, they are. No, they are. They're very similar. And that's why I like both of them, though. They're good. I don't think you'd like them.
I doubt it.
You don't like good things.
I think you'd like Persona 4. I do think you would. The music's great, the characters are great. It's the Persona 5's a bit more like,
I think if I got into them, like if I actually sat down and played some hours of them, I would, but I just don't have that
I think Persona
inkling
5 is the
to
best
start
looking.
one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Persona 5 is. I think Persona 5 is the best looking one of them.
If you were like, obviously you haven't made that a list yet, but like, is there games?
Oh, I've got a list here.
Of games?
No.
No, people you want to murder. Is there like, I actually bumped Cyberpunk off this list as well because I don't think that's had the PS5, Xbox One or Xbox Series update yet, has it?
Yeah,
Has it had its very last update?
I don't think it'll be its very last. No, but I mean,
that's right. There's no rush to play.
They only just
stuff
released the update for The Witcher 3, like
Yeah.
next gen update. So
Which, by the way, have you played it?
no, I've not went back to it.
Fucking hell!
Is it good?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe how smooth it runs. I was like, because like I think Angie was playing it beforehand when we were playing it on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And we transferred it over to the Xbox Series X, and it loaded up a game. It was a part that she was in, and like I was like, "Wow, this looks great." And she's like, "I need to start this again. I have no idea how to play this fucking game." Good point.
Yeah.
But no, it looks really nice. Like it's definitely done the upscale with the textures and stuff, but the frame rate is like solid
really
60. I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's
Yeah,
another game that was on the list and I had to bump it, Witcher.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like,
It's a lot, man.
mate, you have to like be a bit ruthless with it. You're like,
Oh, there's plenty of games you've got on that list I would bump off. Mate.
I know, that's the thing. It's all about taste in it.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of my games are longer games that I like. I love the RPGs, but I had to mix in games like Portal and
Yeah.
fucking Asura's Wrath.
Because again, this is games that you want to complete. It's not I want to complete hundreds of games because you could easily just be like, fuck it, I'll put on games that are like 2 hours
The
long and
longest,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
I
These are
think-
games that you would
yeah.
do you know what? I'm getting a good experience from this.
Making
And if
a
you don't-
list clears it up for you as well. I
It's
think.
also if you don't like it, like if you're playing that triangle strategy and you get to a point you're like, I am fucking
Oh,
40 hours into this. Fuck this! I'm going to knock it off the list.
That's another thing. If I play a game and I actually just dislike it, I'm just gonna say quit. I'm just quit it. And
Yeah,
go.
don't finish it just because it's on your list.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the list thing is just because I see these games and I'm like, oh, I want to play it, and you never. Things move so fast. There's new stuff coming out, and
You never make the time.
you never make the time up. So like, is there games from past consoles that you've went, I really want to play that, and just have never
Yeah, definitely.
and pop it to any big ones?
Perfect Dark. I didn't complete that.
Perfect Dark's a good one, mate.
I
Aye.
think Perfect Dark would be a great because again, I love GoldenEye so much.
It's on
but
the
then-
Series X now as well.
Yeah. And it's one of those types of games. It's like the story I always said was really good compared to GoldenEye.
Yeah.
There's other ones that I'm thinking like Mario games and stuff that I never really finished or played. Mario 64. I never completed that. I always watched other people play it. And Mario Galaxy. Never played that. Well, sorry. Did play that on with one of my pals, and I sat with the Wii controller collecting
collecting the
Stardust.
thing.
I didn't actually play it. I'm
That's so boring,
like,
isn't
this
it?
game's fucking shit. No, it's great. I'm like, no, you're jumping about as Mario, and I'm fucking sitting with this Wii remote catching fucking Stardust and
Yeah.
fish.
Like,
We're not having the same experience here.
Like,
No.
I'm looking behind you right now, and I can see all my games right, and I can pick.
Oh,
out,
hold on. Let me
like-
just move out the way of this of your chandelier there, man. So, right there, yeah.
Ah, cheers, mate. You want to move that big gold bar at the way?
I'm
though?
sorry. Hold on.
Like, there's a load of games up there, like
Oh, no,
even
there's a bar here.
even 360 games that I'm like, oh, I should play that. Kane and Lynch 2. How good was the first Kane and Lynch? I
Yeah.
mean, it was awful, but it was great.
Yeah.
99 Nights is a game I've always thought about playing, but I think people will go, why do you want to play it? And I'm like, I just kind of want to experience it.
I mean, I completed 99 Nights. I remember when that was one of the 360 games, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
yeah. I can remember the
like Heavenly Sword as well.
yeah. Fucking hell, remember Heavenly Sword? Jesus.
Dragon Age games I've never played. You know what I mean? Like games that I know I like, and then you just go, I don't have the time for it. I'll just play Final Fantasy 15 again.
Yeah.
I'll jump on the COD and then that's a couple of
Mate. But like, I get
Something
caught up in my own game. Like you're like
Of course,
invested
yeah.
in it.
No,
I treat games like movies in a sort of way where I'm just like, no, this is the only thing I'm concentrating on.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, see when you were talking about like you were playing a game and watching a movie at the same time, that's fucking a nightmare for me. I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. Like, unless it's like a podcast, like I can listen to a podcast and play a game with some grind to it.
Mm.
But man, like if you can do that, does your eye? Are you got eye chameleons? So they just like they move like side to side and watch one at the same time for it?
No, I mean the thing is, I don't really do that anymore because you feel like you don't properly experience it and appreciate it for what it is. But it would just generally be things like that you don't need to, like. I wouldn't watch it with like Game of Thrones where you need to keep up with all of the stories and that. You know what I mean? It'd be like, I kind of want to watch that comedy film or whatever, and then you just kind of chime in a wee bits and that. Like
an
I
episode
don't
of
recommend
fucking
it.
Simpsons or something like that in the background.
I know.
But I wouldn't recommend it because you end up just you'll either get to the end of it and then it's like, I don't really know what happened in that movie. I could watch that again and it would be like watching a new movie.
Yeah.
And it just takes away your attention. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But
again, it's just like, to me, I'm like, fuck, I couldn't do that. Like, but then it's. I guess if it is something that you can easily switch off to and you're doing something mundane, say if you were like playing God of War and you were trying to play those up a couple levels.
Yeah, if we're just hacking and slashing things.
Yeah. Something for an hour. Yeah, I guess that.
I know. I think I like to I want to appreciate what I'm doing, and like I think if you don't feel like you're actually giving it your full attention, you're not appreciating it. But anyway, that's my list. By the way, I quite like making lists is very therapeutic as well, because it makes you think you're actually progressing with something where you're actually not. You're just making the list.
Yeah, I find you making lists very boring and reading them out very boring, mate.
I did ask you last night. Hey,
do you know what you hate me?
Make a small list of games you want to play.
I didn't think you'd want to go through every single fucking one.
I didn't. I went through it quite quick, didn't I?
I was round at Sinead's till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't going to go home and make a fucking list of games.
She's going to get you away.
She was one like asking me if I was off so I could stay later, mate. So I don't know what you're talking about.
She was like, "Are you off tomorrow?"
I'll make my list and see what comes through for it as well, because like I was quite busy over New Year's and stuff like that. So, and most of the games I'm looking at, I'm like, I think I'll have the same issue with like run times and how long it will take to beat them rather than just like the sex put them in. But there's a few games I'm looking forward to finishing, like obviously Bayo. I'm just try go through that. I do want to start Pokemon. I started Pokemon before Angie started her game for it, and she got like sucked into it, so she was doing really well with that. But again, Persona's taking a lot of that time up, see, because they've added all these wee bits. I'm like, oh, I can be friends with them a lot quicker. Oh, I want to go and do that. Wait, they've added pools and dark games, and it helps when we do the tag modes and stuff. Oh, wait, that's a nice slice of life. But oh, wait, they've added the guys from Persona 3 and 4 in for like boss battles. Wait, they've done this. I'm like, no, Dom.
Just piles on and on, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you always overplay a game, the one that you love.
Yeah. And it's also like, the music's just great in it. Do some crimes.
Yeah.
Do some crimes.
I believe we got a question, didn't we?
We do actually have a question. It's... Oh, well, I'll go get Hugh as the host of the podcast.
See, when I go to edit this, I'm going to just re-record over and I am the host of this podcast forever.
Nah, we want to keep people listening, mate.
How dare you?
Why isn't that come up properly?
Actually, it's in a message.
Right.
Because it's a long one.
Okay, there we go. So it's from Mabel, but it's Craig that's asking for it. Given the Xbox Game Pass and fucking hell.
You want to take us on?
Given that Xbox has the Game Pass and represents such great value, and the PS5 seems to have so many blockbuster exclusives, why is the Dreamcast all your favourite console ever?
Choo Choo Rocket, that's why.
Fuck yeah,
I instantly thought of Choo Choo Rocket.
That's just that's
Sonic Adventure 1
the main game.
The Chow Garden using the memory card.
Yeah, some bangers.
What was that when the 4-player co-op beat 'em up game you could play?
Can Spike? No, Can Spike's really expensive.
It was the
Power Stone?
Power Stone, yeah, Power Stone was great.
Power Stone's really good.
House of the Dead, there's so many fucking lot of bangers.
My grandpa had a Dreamcast. I don't know why. Like, I think it was...
It played DVDs.
I don't think it did.
No, it did.
I don't think it
did. That's how it was so easily pirated, because you could just copy a game on a DVD disc and stick it into a Dreamcast.
It was the first...
I mean, I have no idea what it is.
That's all I've heard.
It was the first time I'd ever seen boob physics.
Alright.
Dead or Alive.
Oh, DOA on that?
Oh, mate, yeah. I fucking loved DOA is a great...
I bet you did.
Mate, DOA is one of my favourite fighting games, mostly because it was the first time I saw boob physics, but also it's just a great game as well. It's a good game. The other games on the Dreamcast that probably should get a mention is like Crazy Taxi and stuff. I know they're all being re-released, but it was the first time we ever saw them.
Crazy Taxi was brilliant. Yeah.
VMUs as well. I've got a green one, a black one, white one, red one. Like they were so cool. Plus you got wee games on them as well.
Did you play much of those games? Like I remember, like one of my pals, he had a Dreamcast, and it was the first time going on the internet.
Yeah,
that was that blew my mind.
You need to use.
Yeah, and we looked up a strategy guide to beat. Oh no, it wasn't to beat. Actually, it was in Sonic Adventure. We got completely lost. And it's like, and then when we searched it on the internet, and it says, just jump on the wee glowy thing, they'll tell you what to do. And then we were spending an hour just running about to that music that's in the station,
Right.
We can't find this fucking phone.
Sonic Adventure 1 was so jank but so cool at the same time.
Yeah, you always wanted those sneakers though. But I guess the important part for the question for like the Xbox Game Pass, maybe the PlayStation 5, Craig was getting that. Like, you guys know, like, you know what's great for both the consoles and which would probably work stronger. Do you think Xbox will have like a time where their exclusivity will overtake PlayStation's exclusivity, and vice versa for PlayStation? Their version of like PlayStation Essential, Extra, Premium is not as good as Game Pass. Do you think there'll be a time where both of them will be competitive against each other on both factors?
I don't think Xbox is going to overtake exclusivity on PlayStation, because to do that, PlayStation would need to really ramp down and slow down. But I think that eventually Xbox will at least try and match them for big blockbuster kind of exclusive titles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the same vein, PlayStation's going to try, well, I mean, they are kind of trying to rival the Game Pass, but it's not really working, so going to fall short on that end, I think.
I have my issues with Game Pass, right? For a start, you'd never own anything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the games are mediocre, like, and a lot of games that are aimed at Game Pass are mediocre and stuff like that. I also think it's a weird thing to have a library like that where games can be like overlooked and stuff and just sat in a library kind of worthless sort of thing.
But I think it's too much choice again. Is this
it's like the Netflix thing where like you're like, oh, what will I watch on Netflix? There's 5 million things to watch, but like there's also that Pentiment was a game that I didn't think would get a lot of play because it's a weird game, but it did. So there's pros, obviously massive pros and cons to it, but I think the pros are always on the consumer side, the cons are always on the developer side. So like, developers have to make games that obviously at a certain budget and a certain ambition and a certain scope to work well on Game Pass, which is different than working well in a retail environment. And also, as a consumer, like, you can beat a game and never own it and stuff, and you're constantly paying the subscription fees, and like there's a whole mess around these type of things.
I mean, you could be like, you know, the guys that did Among Us. You know, like that game was made back in 2017 or whatever, and it only started getting popular in 2019, and now no matter where you go, you just see Among Us everywhere.
Yeah,
like all it can be a case.
It's very sus, isn't it?
God, we're old.
2020 joke.
The thing is, Hugh, like when you're saying there's too many games, it's like you're thinking of it from your perspective as too many games for you, but they need a wide spectrum of games for it to appeal to everybody.
It just means that like if there's 200 games on it, what games are special? If you know what I mean, like, it's the whole.
That's different for everybody, though.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
just look through them, mate.
If you've been on Netflix, right? There's a lot of shit on Netflix, like a whole load of shit, and a whole load of the shit is Netflix funded. A lot of those fucking Ryan Reynolds movies and fucking the Ryan Gosling one as well. Like, there's a type of game or a film called a Netflix film, and it's a waste of time. And that's what it's for. It's to keep you as entertained as you need to be.
A wee popcorn movie.
Aye, they have their place. It's when that becomes standard. So if Game Pass becomes the overbearing thing in the industry, are we just going to get?
So do you think it's going to diminish the quality of games made in the future?
I also think that exclusivity does that as well. So I think that PlayStation's way of telling its exclusive studios to just make Uncharted's, essentially, or Assassin's Creed type 3D third-person action games, which like Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted, Last of Us. That's essentially what they want. They want to churn them out constantly. For example, they're remaking the first Horizon game.
That's
silly. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can play that game now and it'll be fine.
That's because they need to worry about the next one that's coming out that's going to be fucking stupid because it's about space. Like, you've got this planet, you could really focus on that, but you already go, nah, we need to go to space.
They're not going to go to space,
guys. We need to build a
rocket.
I
beat the game, though. They're not going to go to space. Space is coming to them.
Yeah, but then how are you supposed to fight it? With giant Gundams? Space Gundams with spears?
You've made this up in your head.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's more entertaining than fucking what they're doing. Like, that game was trash.
No, that game was good. You were just trash at it.
No, that ending was awful. Like,
what was awful about it?
The writing.
Yeah. There was a lot of awfulness in that.
The game was pretty good. The writing was fine. It's a sci-fi game.
Yeah, but then PlayStation going to be like, no, we're just going to continue doing this.
It was
we'll
very
have sassy people.
It was very obvious.
On our face here.
It was a very obvious sci-fi game from the very moment the first one came out.
I know, but
it was robot dinosaurs.
The second one was a much weaker entry than the first one.
No, I wouldn't say so. The second one was just the same sort of game, but better looking.
Yeah, sometimes it was.
I had it on performance mode, so I didn't have it on like resolution because fuck having a game at 30 frames.
Oh, let me go back to that. but you're right. We'll see when it comes to like again. I think it's more like what you'd value your money for it as well. Like I think Game Pass is a steal for what you
it is
for it compared to PlayStation where they were charging you X amount. I think it's £100 for the year.
That's what I think though. It's good for us. We get a wider like. There's games that I would have never have played.
But if you
I wouldn't have bought High on Life.
But if you were you preferred the PlayStation over your Xbox, say in this like hypothetical you preferred that, but you weren't getting as much good value compared to the Xbox, would you not feel like disappointed that you weren't getting
I know, but value isn't the only quality I look for and stuff though. Like there's some things that are
he
expensive.
needs boob physics, mate.
Boob physics is fantastic.
That's why it's called the Dreamcast, mate.
So like I went and saw I'm just gonna say the menu, right? The budget for that probably wasn't very high, but the quality was really fucking good.
That's what you get.
Now, I went to see fucking fuck it, I've not seen it yet, but Avatar, right?
Massive budget,
less
quality.
But is the quality there as a story, as a film? Don't know, I've not seen it, but I'll make an assumption.
Oh, even
not.
the first one, mate. Like massive budget and the story wasn't that.
So like, I'm not saying that like small budget equals quality or anything. I'm just saying that like I don't think that
they don't have to work as hard to prove a point. Maybe if you got a big bloated budget, you just need to tick a box. Generally, it feels like you can do that. You can do the hero's journey. You can do all the fucking stuff. But on a smaller budget for it, it's more intimate. It's more.
My original point was the value of that though. So like what like. So what's the value between Avatar and the menu, right? So one's more quality than the other.
One's blue people and one's about a killer menu, I guess.
So you're looking for more than just value proposition as well. So the menu's shorter. The budget was less
only a few
on
items on the menu.
There was. You're right. Like there wasn't as much action in it, obviously. Like so whatever you consider as value, but the price of the ticket was the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I might like because like Game Pass is the same for everybody. It's like what $7.99 a month or $10.99, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like, just saying like, oh, we get loads of games, that's value. It's not really. Because you could have loads of fucking Assassin's Creed. It's no value.
To you,
not to you. Yeah,
that's true. Okay, I can see that. Like, it does matter, person to person, if you get value through that. To you, if it was a case of like you got Game Pass and it was all Assassin's Creed games or was games that or all the movies they had on it were all jokers, you'd be like, this is not.
This is very mediocre, man. This is all a solid 7, 6.5s.
But even that point of like the amount on it, that's not entirely true. Like to the extreme, like if you wouldn't pay $10.99 for like a Game Pass with 3 games on it, even if you really like the games, you'd be like, it's a bit steep for only 3 games.
I'm saying it's the ecosystem that it develops,
like
the Netflix style of not rush it, but like create these 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 films just to get them on there, so there's new film with said star. So
to keep people subscribed.
Is Bethesda going to start making fucking Fallout games? But that episode, at some point, please. But like, are they going to start just releasing games that are maybe not as fucking in depth as other ones? Because they're going on Game Pass. Just file them out. Maybe Bethesda was a bad choice, right?
I know.
Are they going to start making buggy games? Wait,
I know.
I think I know what you mean. You're saying like.
I just get worried that if that becomes the dominant force in gaming, we're just going to be left with hundreds of High on Lives, which is fine. But where are we going to get the
really special ones?
Really, like just the games that like the Yakuza games and stuff like that. Like,
they're on Game Pass.
I know they're on Game Pass. Those are terrible fucking choices.
So I mean, I think you're just.
But like the special,
you're going for the next blockbuster games when you're going to get the next God of War that isn't going to be as God as War. It's not going to be like just another Halo Infinite. It's going to be something where we're going to get one that's going to be a blockbuster game that will define that console and define the generation.
Yeah, just something special that maybe comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like.
I'd hope it'd be this year.
He's not asking for much, is he? You know,
He's not
like,
asking for much.
I know.
But I mean,
I know.
This year,
it's hard to actually explain.
Yeah.
I get no. I do get what you mean. I'm just winding you up,
I
but
think it's like for this year, something needs to change. Like a different type of game. Like for all the games that came out in 2022, a lot of them are reskins or rehashes. I mean, like
Third-person action games.
yeah, and if it's an FPS, it's Call of Duty, it's Overwatch, it's there's loads of games that are just it's the same stuff but with a nicer coat of paint on it. There's nothing I don't think anything came out in 2022 apart from maybe Shifu or something like something that's got some uniqueness to it. Where
it's not for this podcast, right? But there's like a whole theory on like the way our economies are built now, is that you can't take risks anymore. You've just got to keep going with the things that you know are going to be
the safe bet. Yeah,
safe bets.
I mean, that's always been the case,
and that's why we've got
Hollywood. Like that's why for the longest time they had like spaghetti westerns and stuff because people wanted that.
Well,
and then when something new came out, they were like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" And that was all cheap spaghetti westerns because you could just go to Nevada and just point a camera at a desert and go.
While spaghetti westerns were in the cinema, you also had like 2001: A Space Odyssey and fucking whatever, The Godfather, and like the 60s and 70s were actually really good for like films because
they took chances.
There's plenty of shite as well though. Like
but that's the chances you take.
We're referencing the ones that people still watch to this day, and because they were masterful films, but I guarantee it's plenty of shit.
And then you get the extremes.
Yeah, but then give it maybe like another 10 or give it another 20 years. Say we'll look back at like these decades that we've had here, and then pick which ones that we knew. That
I don't know.
Be great as well.
I think films have been stuck in this kind of thing from like the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, especially since Independence Day came out.
I thought you were going to say 9/11 there. Fucking hell.
Oh, you mean the 9/11 films?
Yeah, like
Independence Day.
So that's a goodbye from Hamish.
Bye everyone. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far,
and goodbye from Hugh.
Bye everyone.
A bit more enthusiastic, Hugh.
No, Hamish took all my enthusiasm. He went too long with his goodbye, so
it was like 3 seconds.
That was way too long.
Okay, goodbye from me, guys.
Says the guy with a fucking list.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.